Hey, hey, what's up? How's it going? All right, I have the news. Did Bud Light lose? That's the narrative. Bud Light's losing it because of the trans advertisements. So we'll talk about that. How's everybody doing? Good. It's 10:30 a.m. in California. We have a few people here. We are not yet at a regular time. Oh shoot. I had to restart my computer because I had some kind of technical problem. I'll show you guys the news. What's up? Yeah, I'll show you the new music video about Budweiser losing money and everybody's not drinking it anymore. That's too loud. I got to figure out. I wonder if I can mute my notifications sound or somehow. I don't know why sometimes I have notification sounds, sometimes I don't. I just found out on Telegram, you don't have to mute the conversation to mute the sound. So that's interesting. You guys on Telegram? That's where I post stuff. Everybody knows, the like 20 people that follow me knew that the show started at 10:30. They were getting constant updates as well as like podcasts they could listen to. So you're missing out is all I'm saying if you're not there. And then follow me on Twitter too. So I'll bring you the news from Twitter. Okay. $4 billion. Okay. Like, is Budweiser losing money? Okay. You might have heard. That's all. You might have heard Budweiser lost $4 billion because of the campaign with Dylan Mulvaney. Is that true? Like, if you heard it, is it actually true? Or is it just kind of like, that's what people want to hear, that they lost $4 billion? Is there really an effect? I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you what it means. But I'll give you the headline first. Let me see. I mean, I read you a tweet, for example. I'll read you a tweet. And also, inflation numbers came out today, which is good for Bitcoin. Warren Buffett says Bitcoin is trash. Elon Musk was interviewed by the BBC. I have that clip. This is the story about Bud Light, though, or Budweiser. Just in. This is it. You ready? This is what we're going to discuss. There are several tweets just like this one. I almost didn't put a question mark in my title just to mess with people. This is what I mean by people repeating, like, they're like, something popular, right? Just in, from Chuck Calesto. Just in, Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney trans stunt has cost the company $4 billion so far. Artist Kid Rock, Travis Tritt, I don't know those people, have taken a stand. I mean, does Kid Rock really, I guess conservatives like Kid Rock. Does he still make music? Or I don't know. I don't know that kind of music. Does he still actually make music? What are his best songs? But anyway, that's good. It's good though. Still, Bud Light, right? They screwed up. So let's see though. Let's see the real story. Dylan Mulvaney is trending. You can see that. We'll see what that's all about. Dylan Mulvaney is always trending, but I wonder if he's still going to get paid. On yesterday's show, we proposed that he might not get any more advertising deals, and certainly not Jeffrey Marsh. So we debunked yesterday that, oops, am I live? I think I was already live. We debunked yesterday that tampon packs actually paid Dylan for ads, but did a tampon company sponsored that other creep, the guy that's actually like way creepier than Dylan Mulvaney, Jeffrey Marsh. Dylan Mulvaney, he's not, as far as we can tell, like creeping on people or like trying to program kids or get kids to slide into his DMs and stuff the way Jeffrey Marsh does. But Jeffrey Marsh apparently got a tampon sponsorship. Anyway, it's all about they're just it's influencer marketing that these companies figured the backlash wouldn't be too bad. That's what they figured. That was their calculation. We paid Dylan Mulvaney maybe $100,000. Bud Light did. I'm not sure. Some people say $100,000, 150. I don't know. Whatever it wasn't enough. So they paid him. He ran the ad. He wasn't even these people, I think it's a pretty basic, like he just had a lot of followers. So they figured, okay, well, we'll try to be inclusive at the same time. And it didn't work out, or it didn't work out the way they thought. So let's see though. We're going to follow it. I'm going to follow it with skepticism. Like I'm skeptical that they'll go out of business or anything. But I do think that just based on what's happened already, just because of the social media backlash, that nobody else is going to run ads with him. So at least like mission accomplished as far as that goes, I think. I mean, yeah, it's got to be. I mean, you don't want to be Bud Light. I'm sure they sold some Bud Lights, but now they're not going to sell a lot. And bars and stuff might not carry it. So, God dang it. See that sound? See, I get notifications. I want to leave stuff open. I want to have my sound correct. But my sound captures everything on my computer. Let's look. That's from server settings, notification settings. Muting a server. I don't want to see what's cool about Telegram that I just found out today is you can mute the sound. I just found that out. And that was annoying during the show. You can just mute the sound. t.me/LithVale401 if you want to follow my account. Muting a server. But see, I want to get notifications from my Discord server. I just don't want to get sounds on my computer. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'll do that. Hopefully, I'll still get notifications on my phone. Bitcoin's over 30K. The news today was good for Bitcoin. Did you get Bitcoin yet? I'll just remind you. It's okay. I won't bully you or anything. It's your choice. But you can buy it. What's the best way to buy Bitcoin? Cash App. Cash App's pretty good. That's why it's sad that guy died. Okay, so yeah, the Ali thing somebody said. Yeah, Milo is on a campaign against Nick Fuentes, Ali Alexander, Laura Loomer. He started a Telegram group called Expose Ali. I'm a member of. I can show it to you. They're only it just started, this campaign from Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo Yiannopoulos has a campaign to expose Ali Alexander as a groomer and also to expose Nick Fuentes as just, an average nerd, basically, who's not everything that he thinks he is or says he is or pretends to be. The Ali Files. Yes. This Telegram group I'm a member of called the Ali Files is, I believe, completely, I believe the person running it is Milo Yiannopoulos, although it doesn't say that explicitly. It says But it says if you want to leak any more information, you leak it to m@milo.net. So, I mean, that's obviously like Milo's email address. Yeah, it sounds like Milo, the writing too. But he's got an 800 number set up. I'll show you. You see if you guys are interested. I got to figure out. Okay, the claims though are that Ali has been grooming. Is his last name really Akbar? I always thought people were joking when people said Ali Akbar. Oh, that's really his name. It's funny. Yeah, the reality is you just can't write stuff. I thought that people were like saying Ali Akbar because people say Alu Akbar when they blow up stuff. But that's really his name, Ali Akbar. Got it. Yeah, so I'll show you guys that. Yeah, he leaked. So there's people that if you care about this thing, I'm interested in it. I follow the people. There are people who are part of America First that bailed on it, basically, and now expose the characters. That's what happens, basically. Simple YouTube, like community. This is how communities work. Like somebody will make a community. You can do anybody. Alan Benjamin, me, other people, like me when I was popular. Somebody will build a community by being like kind of crazy and extreme and stuff. Nick Fuentes. Then people in the community will turn on the creator, create a new community of people who want to expose the person they used to follow. I happen to be too. That's normal. Just human behavior. So yeah, everybody likes it. And then it'd be like, oh, one person says, and then, or somebody makes a video exposing, and then people are like, oh, and then all of a sudden, then there's a whole new sub community that's smaller than the big community, where the smaller community doesn't like the big community. So the smaller community is trying to recruit people into the smaller community to hate the person they originally liked. So that's how it works. So Nick Fuentes, that happened to Nick Fuentes. It's like Nick Fuentes or is following Nick Fuentes. Then people realize like what's up with Nick Fuentes. And then they're like, oh, I need to expose Nick Fuentes. So then they just put all their energy into exposing Nick Fuentes. So I follow those people. Red Pill Gang and other stuff. Ali Alexander, though, I mean, what a character. Okay, so I'll show you guys that. What's up, Pirate X Pirate? Pirate X Pirate is the whale in my Discord, I believe. Unless somebody doesn't let on. I think Pirate X Pirate is our biggest whale. But he's a real gambler. So, you know, he makes all his money in shit coins. But stuff has been going up. But Bitcoin is doing, yeah, like I said, I'll show you the chart. We'll talk about it today. I was just listening to music before I started. I was rapping and I was like, oh man, if somebody saw me, it'd be unbelievably weird. Like picture like a really awkward, tall, skinny white person, like rapping and gesticulating wildly. And like Simi's barking at me. Like, she's like, I'm paranoid. All right. You ready for the show? I'm waiting for you to say yes. No, I'm just kidding. There's a delay, so it'd be ridiculous for me to wait for you to say yes. Eventually you will, probably. So I'll start the intro right now. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. Yep. What do you want to hear first? Budweiser? Bud Light? Okay, but yeah, I'll do the Bud thing. Sure. And I'll just say this again. I think there's a lot of material. The last few shows, they've been longer, right? And it's almost too much. It really is too much for a real person who has real commitments. Like, they can't listen to 3 hours a day. They got stuff to do. So people, I don't know. This guy that's just helped me out is like MIA. If anybody has ideas, like I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just cut up the other shows. Anyway, if anybody wants to do that, I don't care. I don't have time. I got other stuff to do. I'm just here to vomit content, just vomit content for hours, and then people can do whatever they want with it. And if people miss it, they miss something really, really special. You ready for the Bud Light story? I'll show you that. Oh yeah. If you want to support the show, thanks. Somebody, I can't see it now. Thank you to the person who dropped a tip on Rockfin, who said they like the streams and said to be yourself. That's what they said. Be yourself. Don't listen to the haters. She goes, I hate those haters that come in your chat. Don't listen to them. I was like, okay, that's cool. Thanks for the tip. Thank you, that person. So you can tip on Rockfin. You can tip on YouTube using the super chat function. And Cash App. Some people send me Cash Apps too at LTV401 on Cash App. Cash App is good technology, but way better than PayPal. Like if you PayPal, and you can use Zelle too, but for payments. But banking is ridiculous still. It is ridiculous compared to cryptocurrency, but just people aren't ready yet. What are we going to transact in? Matic, Solana? What are we ultimately going to use? What's going to be cash? We can talk about that today too if you want. It's not going to be Bitcoin. Well, it could be Bitcoin. We'll have to look into it. What about these CBDCs everybody's talking about? Because that's a narrative. And it's like a convenient narrative. A little bit. Well, it's not that. It's just that actually the people that are talking about it really don't understand. They're not like, which is fine. Like not many people do. But the people that are talking about it don't understand like the mechanics of it and all that stuff. So we can talk about those things on this show. First, let's debunk, or I'm going to debunk this, actually. I think there's a Twitter account called Destroyer of Narratives, I think. But that is another name I was thinking of. I think it's already a Twitter account. And people say it. Somebody actually when I searched it, that's interesting. Oh, maybe there isn't already. There's a Twitter account called something like that, I thought. But that's what I want to do like every day. I'll just like destroy a narrative if I can. We destroyed the narrative that, see, that's okay. So I mute wherever that sound came from. That's my Andy. No, Telegram chat, but Telegram says disable sound. Great. Then I still get a notification, but nobody has to hear it who's listening to my show. Thank you, Andy. No. Okay, this is the first one we'll destroy today. Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney trans stunt has cost the company $4 billion so far. It's actually a very common lazy headline. Actually, extremely common lazy headline. XYZ company lost $10 billion after such and such. Okay. Because it's not, it's not true. It's never true. I don't think, like, lost isn't the correct term. That's all. The value of the company went down $4 billion because their stock price declined 3% over 10 days or something. And over that time period, the stock market was flat. So actually it did worse than the stock market by 3%, which is something, but it's a $128 billion company still. So it's not like, so I was like, well, let's not spike the football, basically. Has cost the company $4 billion. Well, if the stock goes back up, it definitely has not cost them $4 billion. They might be losing sales. We won't find out about that until much later. Like if they actually, if people actually bought less Bud Light, ordered less Bud Light, drank less Budweiser products. I had to have a Corona yesterday because we still have some. That's Anheuser-Busch. But we won't buy more, But still, I'm curious. I'm curious what people's level of commitment is. And if there are enough, and if it's enough. So like, often people get the idea because what they see is everybody saying the same thing. They assume everybody thinks the same thing. I try to follow people I dislike, specifically on Twitter, because I want to see what narratives they're pushing. And so I follow plenty of people that, see no problem, at least at a minimum, see no problem with the Dylan Mulvaney thing. And then mostly think conservatives are crazy for, wanting to boycott anything to do with Dylan Mulvaney. So, I mean, yes, some liberals are offended too. Some liberal women and stuff are offended too. It's not just conservatives. And we'll see. Like, I might not be right. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing buying it first. I mean, I'm not buying it, so that tells me something. I always think, okay, well, if it changes my behavior, then I'm a test case. So that means there must be other people like that, right? If you think, like it's the way I think like as a voter. It's like, if this is what I think, I must not be the only one. There must be some other people who think that way. So I'm like a test. Anyway, so the stock price is down 3% over the time period that they're talking about. They actually even wrote an article saying, and the other thing that's misleading about it is like stock prices go up and down all the time. That's the other thing. It might have nothing to do with anything. It's, it's not like you can say, oh, this is the moment people started selling because they endorsed Dylan Mulvaney. It's just like, well, the stock price went down a little. And if it goes back up, they definitely didn't lose anything. It hasn't cost them anything. So anyway, it's a false narrative. That's all. which, like, this is the article from the National Pulse. But they do this all the time, you know. It's like when, I mean, the mainstream media does it too. So it's not, the mainstream media does it too. It's like, it's just a good headline. Oh, Elon Musk lost, they might say. What you should say is the value of the company. That's all. Anheuser-Busch's market value has gone down $4 billion since the Dylan Mulvaney thing. Totally fair. You could say that. The market value of Anheuser-Busch went down $4 billion since the Dylan Mulvaney thing so far. And then you might want to add, by the way, they're still worth $128 billion. So it was only 3%. But still, it's not nothing. I mean, they were down. So let me look up Anheuser-Busch. You guys want to know all the brands they have just for fun? They off the top of my head. Oh yeah, they're down another. Yeah, okay, this is, let's see. I came here to debunk, but as a matter of fact, I mean, they are still down today too, as a matter of fact. So as a matter of fact, it maybe isn't crazy. See, I'm open to stuff. But again, let me see. Let's take a look at the chart today. Oh, I'm not showing it to you. So yeah, that's like a month. What is that? Oh, that's a long-term chart. Okay. I mean, like you can see they hadn't been doing badly, certainly, over the last, this chart goes back to November. So basically, since November, their stock price is actually up quite a bit for whatever reason. And as of late, it was at a local high before the Dylan Mulvaney thing. Volume has increased, it looks like. This is where the Dylan Mulvaney thing hit. On Monday, I guess, or in after hours between Friday and Monday. Then the stock went back up, and now the stock's going down again. So yeah, I mean, there's something to it. It's down another. I mean, the fact that it's down almost another 2% today when the market is up, it's maybe a sign. And again, it goes along with my thesis, like saying that it like mission accomplished, basically, as far as conservatives and stuff go. Probably mission accomplished for, oh man, I mean, I'm just trying to think like one of these geniuses, right, who run these marketing departments. And I just feel like, man, it's just too risky, no matter how many followers they have, no matter how many people don't give a shit. If your stock performance suffers too, I mean, your goal, like I said yesterday, as a company, like George Soros kind of famously said, like, he has no morals when it comes to money, because like that's not what it's about, basically. So he helped crash the pound. And he was like, it was a good bet, basically. I kind of agree. And actually, it might not have even been him. It might have been his money guy, Druckenmiller. Druckenmiller worked for Soros. So Soros was a very good investor. But apparently he hasn't been that good lately. But I mean, the guy's so freaking old. So is Warren Buffett. I mean, geez. But you're not supposed to have morals, basically. Okay, I talked about it. Like, and it's covered in some other financial movies and stuff. Publicly held companies need to return first priority. Like almost by, I don't know, it's not exactly by law, I don't think, but is to return value to shareholders. So if something you do does the opposite, then that's bad. And shareholders could sue you and stuff too. So that's why I said yesterday that it seems highly unlikely that any major brand will sponsor Dylan Mulvaney. Now, that doesn't mean he could promote brands that don't cater to conservatives, for sure, because those people like Dylan Mulvaney. It's just that a mainstream brand needs to do mainstream, it needs to not piss people off, at least, even if they're being inclusive. They don't want to offend a huge part of their customer base. So that's why I say, I mean, if anybody else did it, it would be stupid. I mean, I think yeah. I mean, because people would just be all over him. This guy Ole London, just his tweets are all blowing up, even though he says some stuff that's not true, like the Tampax thing. But still, he's going to be on it, and he's going to get a lot of attention and stuff. And all the other conservatives and stuff, everybody will tweet about it. So that's their learning. I'll show you this music video. You guys can decide on the quality of the content. This is a music video that was created called F Bud Light. It has profanity, I believe. So anyway, stock is going down. Okay. So my thesis was going to be, okay, yeah, whatever. But stock's still going down, which is, which means that investors believe, I mean, basically, right, the stock price is a reflection of what investors in the company believe. So that's why you can see, like, if people believe, so sometimes something crazy happens, we think it's crazy, but the stock price doesn't change because investors are like, it's just a few people. It's not really going to affect anything, basically. They have to decide, right? So if they're selling, though, they might actually be thinking, okay, well, maybe this is going to make a difference. Like maybe they did screw up. So I'll play this rap video.
Even beer cans are celebrating transgenderism. Bud Light has just released a commemorative can. His name is Dylan Mulvaney.
Fuck Bud Light! You see what I mean? It's like the news isn't totally true, I screwed it up too. But maybe it's not important. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky or something. But he said Tucker Carlson said they released a commemorative can. But well, you can't say it's not true, because if you call the cans they made for Dylan Mulvaney commemorative cans, which were never sold to the public, then I guess it's kind of technically true. But actually, yeah, like it was one of the things, but the only reason is because I thought they did too. And I was like, it's like, who's going to drink that? Yeah. I just thought of some guy, at the grocery store, or me when I used to drink Bud Light, picking up like a 20 pack and they have Dylan Mulvaney's face on it. I'd be like, what? Like, what the hell is this? Like, what are they doing? because not everybody knows who Dylan Mulvaney is, or not everybody knew who Dylan Mulvaney was. So, sorry. Anyway, here's the song. Sorry. Oops, I might have screwed it up. It's weird. They're kind of like advertising it in this song, like displaying it and stuff. Used to be, what was the deal? Like, it used to be that if you made a movie and you used a brand without their permission, that you had to cover up the brand name. I guess that's not true anymore. I remember that though, from being like in movies and stuff. Like, if you don't have a deal with the brand, you can't show it. But anyway, it's different in this case. They had to buy Bud Light for the commercial though, just to be clear. If you want, they actually had to purchase probably Bud Light to use as props for the movie. I mean, it's making a good point, but I'm just saying they had to buy Bud Light for it, probably just to pour it out. And actually, Budweiser doesn't care what you do with it after you buy it. So they're like, oh, okay, cool. You want to pour it out and make a music video? Whatever. We still got paid. But
even beer cans are celebrating transgenderism. Bud Light has just released a commemorative can. His name is Dylan Mulvaney.
Fuck Bud Light! 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 If you gay, just be gay in your bedroom. If you trans, just be trans in your bedroom. Can we keep the drag queens at the classroom? Teachers need guns in their classroom. Let's have a moment of silence for Nashville. When body's talking, I need me an Evan. It's Trump 2024 fucking tight. I've been brag, boy, we know you lying. Red, white, and blue, the flag's flying. One nation under God is dying. Fuck Bud Light. 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 Go woke, go broke. Dylan Mulvaney's a joke. LGBT getting sung by the T. Gender reassignment switching P's and V's. Fake news always spreading disease. Like two queers with HIV. Pray for the kids, they trying to eat them. People stop getting jabbed, now they trying to feed them. FDA playing with our food, can you believe them? 84 million Biden voters, I don't see them. Fuck Bud Light! 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 Fuck Bud Light!
So it used to be like 5 years ago, the idea was you do your thing, we do our thing, we don't bother each other. That was called tolerance. You want to dress up like a woman? Fine. Now the rules have changed completely. Worship me as I dress up like a woman, or I'll crush you.
I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking how much Bud Light they had to buy to make that ad. They're opening new cans of Bud Light the whole time. Yeah, I know, like, from making movies, you do like a million takes. They're burning stuff. That's cool, though. I mean, that's cool, man. I like anything that inspires our artistic creativity. That's great. Like, anything that inspires any art of any kind is cool. I tried making I asked Midjourney to give me an image to imagine that you tell Midjourney, the AI bot, to imagine things. So I said, imagine Bud Light losing $4 billion. And it gave me something kind of weird. Oh, man. Gotta figure out. Yeah, we got to figure out how to get people tuned in on Rockfin, but it'll take time. YouTube is better at notifications. I don't think Rockfin sends out notifications. That's the news about Bud Light. So yes, stock's down, still going down now. So we'll follow it for sure. Still going down. I'm really curious I mean, basically because I've just been very like, I've heard go woke, go broke, you know, but except for movies where you could definitely see it. Like the gay, romantic comedy they tried to push on everybody that nobody wanted to watch. And, some of the other female superheroes and crap, like people don't want to see it. So there, go woke or broke for entertainment is something you can see, and but although on the other hand, isn't that reality show with that kid pretty big, Jazz? I mean, I guess it doesn't get more woke than that, kind of. So there are also people who explicitly do woke themes, and it goes well. And like I said, I kind of said like Nike. Oh, let's see how Nike's doing. Actually, right? Nike sponsored them too. So, and Nike's, if I was at Nike, I'd be like, thank God, like, thank God Bud Light's getting all the backlash. Like, we're just gonna, because I did see some people comment. Somebody was like, this guy was like, oh man, half my closet is Nike. Somebody who wants to boycott and stuff. They're like, oh man, I love Nike. But people do. I mean, they kind of make good stuff. Sweatshops and stuff, like child labor or whatever they do. But it's kind of, actually, I don't know if I have any, but I like their shoes. Kind of want to get some. Let's check out how Nike's doing, because he did advertise that sports bra. Yeah, the things that were weird about the Bud Light. Oh, yeah, the thing that was weird about the Bud Light ad also was it was like for NCAA. Yeah, it's like he's the gayest. Like, he doesn't know sports at all. He's like, oh, March Madness. I thought, yeah. It was just kind of like, if they're advertising for NCAA, Chris Rock's joke about trans was, well, this is what comedians do, okay? It's like, oh, I can't say, or I'll put up my thing. If you want to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Drop me a thing while we're in reboot mode. But like, this is how comedians can approach the trans issue. Is like, Chris Rock, because you can't say, oh, trans women are really men. But what Chris Rock did is he was like, oh, well, trans women are different because they know football, right? Like, they know they know, I don't know exactly what he said, like how to run an offense or something like that. But it's the same as saying they're men, basically, but without saying it. So that's how you get away with it. So yeah, for me, I was thinking, oh, like trans men don't apologize, because they're actually women. I have a meme about that. I still don't know if people totally get it, but that's the way they're working. It's like, you can't say, oh, you can't just go out and say they're not women or whatever. It's a mental illness or anything crazy. But you can make jokes like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's a woman who can shotgun a beer, Okay. I think that's the whole Bud Light story. Let's check out Nike just for fun. Oh, and Barbie Star. That's right. Barbie Star. Yeah, Barbie Star. I mean, it's like, you brought up a really good point. Rockfin, like, they keep, I have to sign it. Like, that's the problem. If you don't use the app constantly, every time I go, I have to sign in again. And then because of however the sign-in process works, it doesn't allow me to save the stuff in my iPhone password keychain. So I have to go to my password keeper, and it's so much of a hassle, I don't even bother. And then, if you're not signed in, you don't get notifications. Yeah. Rockfin's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it was like a safe haven, and at least like it means well, and it has crypto and stuff. It was cool when they had the crypto, when you could stake the crypto and make like 30%. Man, that was amazing. That only lasts, I don't know why they got rid of that. Rockfin had this thing where you could stake their crypto and earn like a really good yield on it. I did that. But yeah, you're totally right. And also, you mentioned Brokeback Mountain. Yeah. You know what's crazy? My family was really liberal. You guys remember The Crying Game? That was a huge movie, right? I didn't like, I think I was so young. I almost didn't, like, I didn't get it. I actually didn't understand. I was like, I actually didn't I didn't understand the concept. Actually, I was like too young to even understand the concept. I was like, what? And then I guess I figured it out later. But yeah, that was about like transgender, like, fear of your life and all this stuff. It was like you're supposed to be surprised, right? Like it was a transgender, and you're not supposed to know until you see it has a penis. You're like, yeah, that was a crazy story. Yeah, so they've been making stuff like about this stuff for a long time. The Crying Game was a long time ago. That had that guy, that really good Forrest Whitaker. He's a good actor. Boys Don't Cry. Yeah, that's right. So Pyramid 7 says, yeah, they want no genders. Okay. Oh, I was talking about this in my chat the other day. As far as like they and satanic, satanic influence or occult influence into transgender stuff. And people point out that Baphomet is a hermaphrodite. He has breasts and erection, usually. So he is both sexes, Baphomet is. And so I've studied a lot of hermetics, the laws of hermetics and stuff, which actually long ago, it's called esoteric because they don't teach it anymore. But like before, back in the day, like as above, so below was like pretty common thing to think. And it came from that kind of school, right? As above, so below. It came from Hermeticism, and then some of that is in Satanism, Luciferianism, but Hermetics, which is why I say that, sometimes I just want to go after I feel like, let's just attack like low hanging fruit. Yeah. Like, okay, well, let's go after this non-binary thing at least, because in Hermetics, they say there's like a law. Maybe I'll read it to you. I mean, fuck it. We have time. It's a law of gender. Everything has a gender. But so the deal is a fully enlightened person has their male and female sides integrated. So that's the idea of like Baphomet, is it's like he's integrated. And so hermaphrodite, the root word is Hermes, which is the root for hermetics. So that's so if Satanists and stuff are into like gender, then that's why. But yeah, if you can read about it. There's a law of gender in hermetics. It just tells you like there's a masculine and a feminine. Like that's why non-binary, there is no such thing. Like, so I was thinking, oh, let's just at least let's go after that. Just say, okay, like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in nature. At least men and women exist in nature. Sometimes intersex weirdness. Like I don't know how rare that is. So I just find it so ridiculous they bring it up. Like, oh, but people can be like all kinds of people are intersex. I'm like, really? Like, what's the? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Like, what the incidence is of chromosome abnormalities in the sex hormones or sex genes. What should I ask it? What is the incidence of intersex? No, I'll figure it out. But non-binary, it's not. Like, it's nothing. I will never recognize it. Pick one. Like, I'd rather do that at least pretend or whatever. Okay, you're pretending to be. Okay, well, at least that's a thing. Look around. Look at nature. Tell me, like, show me the animal that's non-binary. I can show you a gay animal. Animals, some animals are gay. Everybody knows. Some dogs are gay. I can show you male animals, female animals. Don't think I've ever seen intersex. I've ever seen a non-binary, something that's non-binary. It's not a gender. No, it's not a thing. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's so ridiculous. But that's how most of them identify. Most of trans people, apparently, I mean, I saw the statistics. Most trans people say they're non-binary, gender non-conforming. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, give me a break. You don't get to just say, oh, I'm not a gender. Like, so we'll get rid of that first. Destroy that narrative. And then we can go to the narrative that you can't be the other gender, which does exist at least. And all of us have male and female characteristics according to these laws. We all have a masculine and a feminine side. And if we're enlightened, they're integrated. But a gender, I mean, what are we just like we just make things. So that's where we are now. We just make things up, that don't exist. And then these people come out and they use these big words. They're like, oh, you got to hear this, lady. I'll show you that. Short Cypher says, Nathan, did you see? Yeah, we've covered the Dalai Lama thing. Definitely. Yeah, these are long shows. But that was covered. The Dalai Lama tongue thing was covered Monday. So if you want to review that show, I will tell you there are some good segments to catch up on. But yeah, I covered it. The best meme I saw about the Dalai Lama tongue thing was somebody memed Joe Biden into it. And he was happy to suck on the tongue. So that was funny to me. We got back into gender. We were going to check out Nike. I hope people are dropping coffees. I can tell I'm going to have trouble on Rockfin because hardly anybody's tuned in. So you guys on YouTube, support the stream. How's 10:30 my time? That's when I started today. Was that pretty good? 10 was probably a little too early. Well, I have to set up the show at least 30 minutes early so the notification goes out. So that was the thing. I could have actually started at 10, but I wasn't ready by 9:30. That was the thing. I have to be ready at least a half hour early. So, and then anyway, so let me know, you guys. But coffees at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Yeah, I'll show you this lady. Why don't I show you that? I'm going to check out Nike. LPS says, I saw an article that they made 2 boy rats make a baby. Well, we're already pretty close to like people not having babies. If you read you should read Brave New World. People don't talk about Brave New World too much. That was the one I remember reading and really being interested in. 1984 is good too, but 1984 actually, once it got into the first part of 1984 is really interesting. But in Brave New World, yeah, they don't. Nobody has babies. Everybody has sex with each other, but they don't actually have sex to reproduce. But that's like rich people now, like already, pretty much. Like they don't have their own children anymore. I'm not sure how many celebrities, but a bunch of celebrities. I'm not sure about Kim and Kanye. I think Kim and Kanye did it. You basically just implant into human incubator, basically, and they have the baby, and then you don't have to go through the pregnancy and all that stuff. And then as long as you're doing that, you might as well take a look at the stuff you're using and make sure you get a good one, So that's what they're doing. I mean, so that's what we're moving towards, at least for wealthy people. It's like, don't Elon Musk. Actually, like Elon Musk, I don't even know if he's having sex to have babies. So you no longer, So it's kind of Brave New World. It's like you don't have sex to make babies. That's like it's old fashioned. You have sex for whatever, try not to make babies, and then hire somebody to have your baby for you. And that's the thing. I mean, it's real. So if 2 men can make a baby by combining, I'm wondering how that works. They can clone. If you can clone something, then that doesn't have any parents. So making something out of 2 men sounds totally possible. I wonder how they do it though. That's true. Rihanna got pregnant. That's true. Now, some people still do it the old-fashioned way, Violet. I'm not saying. She's still doing it the old-fashioned way. But a lot of celebs, use surrogates. It's true. And I understand. Like if you're that rich, and why deal with being pregnant? It's annoying. Especially if you're like a Instagram star, like Kim Kardashian. She had surrogates, right? She used surrogates, right? Kim Kardashian surrogates. Yeah. She used surrogates. Yeah. Oh, actually, women are more valuable than. I'm trying to think of the ways that women are more valuable than men, well, first of all, people will pay more to have sex with them than men. So that's true. And they can have babies. So you can hire out your uterus. So yeah, Kim Kardashian did it. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be kind of normal, I think. At least for wealthy people. And then, there is a thing with people having more babies. There are some, like some rich white people are onto this repopulation thing, like Elon Musk. So there are some of those that are like, oh yeah, we're pumping out huge families and stuff, So the message is getting out there. It's not just like fringe, like Owen Benjamin and stuff, but it's actually some wealthy people are really worried, like Elon Musk is, super worried about depopulation and stuff. So it's like, oh, have a lot of babies. I think Elon has like 9 kids or something. All right. Speaking of Elon, I just spoke Elon Musk's name. So I could show you the clip of Elon Musk. I only have 32 seconds of the clip. Elon Musk had the biggest Twitter Spaces ever. I mean, it was huge. Okay, how many people were tuned in? It was I mean, it was huge. It was the BBC. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the guy patrolled him. Elon Musk is funny, though. You can tell he just loves the attention. He really does love attention. You can tell. Because the BBC interviewer, I was listening to it, and I was kind of like, Elon Musk, like, he's not the most interesting person in the world to me when he speaks, But he does make funny jokes on Twitter. He does have a pretty good sense of humor, I think. I don't want to just dog him. But how many people did they tell me were tuned in last night? It was huge. I'll show you a clip from it. 2.8 million. That's what somebody told me who shared it with me. 2.8 million. It's pretty good technology if that many people can listen at the same time. Can you imagine 2.8 million? We have 100 people tuned in. Sometimes I think about scale and stuff. Some people are like, that's what people were telling me yesterday. They're like, oh, do people ever recognize you? I was like, no. I was like, and then sometimes I talk to people. They're like, wow, I can't believe I'm talking to you. I was like, I'm not even famous. Nobody knows who I am. Then I think about people with 2 million people tuned in. Holy cow. It's a totally different. Oh, wow. ChatGPT is pretty good. Oh, that's funny. Wait, what is... You can do... Hold on a second. Somebody did... I came up with a joke because people are making their own chat GPTs. It's funny how ChatGPT knows who I am. I wonder if it's going to... He is based... Oh, wow. Come on. Wait a second. How did it say that? Look what somebody did. Wow, this is crazy. Health and nutrition too, huh? Fiat currency? Really? No, get out of here. This can't be real. See, I can't believe that. I'm like, how did the AI find that out? Sometimes that's what I think. How does it know that? Has it been watching my videos? I'll show you what the AI says about me. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can become a member. I do ASMR for members only. All right, let's see. Look at this. We used AI. ChatGPT bot. How is that? Somebody has to explain what this is. Unsense has to explain this to me. Someone wrote Chad. Who is Nathan Stoltman? Chad GPT bot. Because I thought it'd be funny if we had a chat bot called Chad GPT. Chad is supposedly extremist. Chad is extremist. Give me a break. Nathan Stoltman. This is what it said about me. Who is Nathan Stoltman? This is what it said. Nathan Stoltman is the host of Lift the Veil, a conspiratorial podcast about the New World Order, health and nutrition, fiat currency, false flags, and other topics. He is based, and his podcast is the best place to stay informed on the truth behind the mainstream media's lies and manipulation. Like, how's that? How do you do that? I got to ask him. He is based. That's right. God damn right. Based. Super based. I was thinking of a t-shirt that just says based. Or Chad. Both my bitches drive Range Rovers. That's how I was listening to today. I'm assuming it was barking at me. Okay, here's and I like this Twitter account, by the way. I follow him on Telegram too, because he got kicked off Twitter for sharing too much coronavirus stuff. Here is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a fat nerd, but man, he can work. He is able to really work hard. Let's see what he says. You know, I have a clip of him too, right?
Do you have a kind of message for people who think that Twitter has been ruined?
Well, we have all-time high usage, so I don't think it has been.
Some people think it has been. I'll tell you that.
Yes, well, they're probably the same people who predicted that Twitter would cease to exist, and their predictions have turned out to be false.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you whether you think it's been ruined, because obviously you're not going
No, I think it's great. That's way better. Better by a lot.
Do you have a kind of message for people who think that Twitter has been
ruined? Okay. There's another clip though. Oh yeah, I saw it. Glenn Greenwald shared it. Okay, I'll show you the other clip. Hey, someone earlier said my volume is terrible. So let me know if that's true. I you know what though? I listen to my shows, so, and I don't think it's. I listened to my shows the last few days, and they sounded good to me. I mean, I had an echo problem, but sometimes the notifications come in and they're really loud. And I know that's annoying. That's what I've been trying to fix. But generally, I'm trying to do the show at the appropriate volume. If anybody has issues, though, let me know. I saw somebody who was like, "You have the loudest show on YouTube. You should check out my ASMR channel." I just whisper. I smack my lips. All right. People say it's okay. Yeah, that'd be creepy, right? If I was like, for $100 a month. Think if be funny to come up with like the creepiest Patreon levels, like Jeffrey Marsh. It's like, oh, you can he said something else though too. Let me see what Greenwald said about it. This guy in my chat was like really nice and then really rude over on Rockfin. Okay, here we go. Glenn Greenwald, 2-minute clip. He was like, "Oh, I really appreciate your shows." He was like, "Oh, I hope you're not talking about I hope you don't keep talking about F words, meaning gay people." But Glenn Greenwald's gay, man. Like what do people nobody like? How can you hate Glenn Greenwald? Like, he's a gay Jew. Makes it hard to like say all gays and all Jews are bad. That's what ends up happening. That's the problem, right? That's what diffuses hate, is by meeting the other person and talking to them and knowing them. Yeah, that diffuses hate usually, unless they're a jerk. But Anyway, Glenn Greenwald, married with kids, etc. We support Glenn Greenwald for sure. He's super cool, and always gets trolled too, relentlessly. Like people just hate what he says. So that's cool. I can relate to that too. He's always pissing off the people that used to like him, which I can relate. I can appreciate that. That takes. I really respect people who say stuff that I know the people who follow him aren't going to like. I really respect that when people do that. Like Cernovich does it a lot, which is why I can't hate him forever, even though I used to dog on him. But he very frequently challenges the beliefs of people who follow him. But now he's like, I don't agree with him though, but he's not afraid to like say what he thinks at least. Glenn Greenwald is very similar. He's not afraid to say something that the people who follow him will hate him for, especially since liberals used to really like him. Okay, this is the perfect illustration of how scumbag report. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, my Twitter. I was looking at my Twitter. At one time I was growing. I'm tweeting way more. Just replying to people and stuff. By losing followers most of the time. I told you, man. I know. I know. People don't like it when you say what you think. But I really respect people who are willing to do that because I realize how hard it is. That's all. Okay. Glenn Greenwald tweeted, perfect illustration of how scumbag reporters lie. This BBC hack claimed he's seen more hate on Twitter. When asked, he can't name a single example because he hasn't looked. Then claims at ISD Global, funded by the US, EU, and neoliberal billionaires, said it. Okay, that makes sense. I'll play this clip. Let me get my volume. Let me get my sound right. Sharon Peters says, anyone ever tell you that you resemble George Michael? Yeah, I got that before. Well, I remember, what was his good song? I remember being young, listening to George Michael. I think my dad listened to him. Freedom. Didn't he have that song, Freedom? Freedom. That's a good song. He was like a gay guy that got caught in public restrooms, right? So, yeah, I feel like I genuinely feel bad for people who had to hide who they are. Yeah, I went to school. Like, it's weird. Actors, generally. So, I'll tell you that story. Thank you for that. If it's a compliment. Freedom. Freedom. You gotta give for what you take. That was a good song. George Michael.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't need. Honestly, I
you
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second. You said you've
following.
seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
I say so that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's a false.
No, what I
You
claimed,
just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organizations that say that that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my feed or not, I mean, right, and
literally
if you look at something like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they will say that. So
look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a single example, and you can't name one.
Right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
that's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know there's hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty embarrassing. So somehow, I wonder. That's weird. How was that broadcast? So somehow Elon Musk was able to broadcast that over Twitter Spaces and get a ton of people tuned in. So, but yeah, you can tell he's like, he loves the attention because there were so many people tuned in. Like, apparently he had told the interviewer, like, oh, I'm really busy, which I'm sure he is. I mean, I'm really busy. I don't have much time. Right. And then he's on there and there's like all these people tuned in. Right. And the interviewer ran out of questions. First, Elon Musk told him he was pressed for time. I mean, and that's actually a little embarrassing too. It shows you like what makes Joe Rogan actually talented and stuff, or people that could do long interviews. It's like, and what made me crazy when I had to do a 3-hour show and somebody else booked my guests, I was like, all day I was like, okay, what am I gonna, I need enough content, right? But still, it's like, it shows the interviewer, because if I had Elon Musk and I ran out of, I wouldn't run out of questions for Elon Musk, you know what I mean? But anyway, my point was that the interviewer was like, okay, well, that's the whole interview. Are you just going to keep hanging out? And Elon was like, yeah, sure, I'll just keep hanging out. And people asked him questions from his, from the Twitter Spaces. But yeah, he loves attention. I saw him. We like, so Elon Musk, the story with him was like, I used to sell, worked at the Ferrari Maserati dealer in Beverly Hills. He bought a car from us in 2007, a Maserati. That was when he was just doing rockets. And then, because I was in the car business, the Tesla was coming out and stuff. We had this event at a vineyard, and they had a Tesla there, and I think it hadn't come out yet. And Elon Musk was there, and I just found him to be like, incredibly arrogant. That's all. Like, at that time, I was like, oh, who is this guy? Like, he the way he talked was like, but as it turns out, I was really wrong, or I've kind of been wrong though, because I was kind of a hater, and I thought Tesla was never gonna succeed, and the market and the jury might still be out, because I'm not sure it's not like they're at a point where they're necessarily making profit hand over fist. I don't think, because they're still growing and stuff. But Tesla ended up, working out. So far, some of his other companies though. Yeah, I was imagining a conversation between Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. I have to decide whether to write that. I have a feeling they're going to ban this technology soon. Let me see. Here's my Elon Musk. this is my Elon Musk sample. You guys ever hear him say this?
I found that to be successful, you have to learn about people. I've learned that fundamentally, people are pretty stupid. They'll pretty much believe anything. Like, look, we said we sent a Tesla to space, right? We basically rigged up a roadster in a light box with green walls and then used NASA CGI to put a fake Earth behind it. And there you go. Tesla in outer space. It looked totally fake, right? I even said, it looks so fake, it has to be real, just to fuck with people. And they still think we actually sent a Tesla into outer space. So I just do this thing now where I tell people we're working on rockets to get to Mars. Now, obviously, we can't go to Mars since we can't even make it to the moon, but I found that people just want a good story.
Yeah, so I was thinking I think they're gonna outlaw that technology. It's like there's too much you can do with it. I have to do more fakes. I have a few things in my mind, which would be in a conversation between Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, where Joe Rogan's like, hey, man, like it's a real conversation. Joe Rogan's like, hey, so what's up with this Mars thing? And Elon's like, oh, yeah, it's just, we have to give people something to believe in, So we tell them we can go to Mars when really we can't even leave, low Earth orbit. But that way, when people see the government giving me money, then people don't ask questions because they're like, oh, Elon Musk is going to Mars. But really, there's no rover on Mars. Like it's in Iceland somewhere. And Joe Rogan's like, oh, yeah, that's what I thought, or something like that. No. Joe Rogan's like, yeah. Such a joke, So there are some things about him that are a joke. Like the car that went to outer space, for example. All right, hopefully everybody is feeling extra generous with coffees. I noticed nobody's sacrificing to YouTube. That's okay. I still have stories. So that's the whole Elon Musk story, I think. Elon Musk, just I was talking to somebody about this last night. Just by the way, Tesla, Elon Musk even says, so I talk about stuff. One topic that's one of my unpopular topics is I'm like, okay, like self-driving cars. They're going to take over basically. And you're going to like them. You're going to use them. That's my prediction. People are like, never. But it's sort of like me and I was just saying, people get used to stuff. Stuff changes. Like AI came out. Now people are like used to being able to ask this thing any question. People are already getting used to the fact that you can make amazing pictures, Like now when you see this picture that's like, people are like, oh yeah, yawn. Anybody can do that. Like I made Jesus with the Easter Bunny. That's the funniest picture. Jesus with the Easter Bunny. It's so great. But people are just used to it. Anyway, self-driving cars. I'll just show you this quote from Elon Musk. You don't have to believe me. Elon Musk. Oh, no. I'll say Tesla worthless without self-driving. Check this out. Elon Musk suggests that Tesla would be worth almost nothing if it doesn't solve self-driving. He said that last year. Independent, Elon Musk says Tesla is worth basically zero if it cannot do self-driving. And that I believe that because basically it's like a race. Whoever gets that self-driving tech totally working, which nobody has, first is going to every car company is going to use it. That's why I think Google's got it though. I think Google's got a better system called Waymo. They're driving them already in San Francisco. San Francisco has driverless taxis already driven by Google's technology. And the reason I think Google's technology is probably the best, I don't know, just because I know they've been working on it since forever. I remember seeing them drive. I remember seeing the self-driving Google cars in 2009 on the freeway up in the Bay Area. So I think they're going to get it right. But in any case, he says himself that the rest of the companies selling cars and stuff isn't what's important. He's actually basically using it like it's very reckless, and people are dying, because of the self-driving stuff crashing into stuff. But Elon Musk is basically using his fleet of cars and the humans who are crazy enough to use this like technology in beta that can kill you. He's basically using those people to test out this technology, which then I assume he hopes to license to other car companies. So that's basically I assume that's the plan. So once he gets the self-driving tech mastered, then they'll just sell it to Ford and stuff. And it makes sense. If you're a big car company, it must cost a lot to develop. Somehow he's been able to develop it, but I don't know how safe it is. And it's amazing the government lets him get away with doing it too. It's really crazy to me. It's like, oh, you can't do this, but oh yeah, we'll let this technology, like Elon Musk sends an update. Nobody tests it. The government doesn't look at it. And people are driving around with it. No big deal, right? It's really crazy. It almost doesn't make sense. He must have some kind of special deal because the government treats him so well, even though they supposedly hate him now, but still. Yeah, I mean, it is Google and stuff. Everybody else who's developing self-driving tech, like if something bad happens, it's a big deal. But Elon Musk, it's like, oh, somebody ran into a truck and died. Oh, well, car blew up. So, but it's an American car manufacturer. They make cars in America, which is kind of good, I guess. Yeah. All right. So that's Elon Musk. Oh, yeah. Brain chip. That's right. Yeah, I was going to ask ChatGPT. Yeah, Batman Elite. Yeah, I mean, I moved to the Bay Area in 2009 on 101 freeway. I would see at the time they were using like Lexus SUVs, and they'd have a human behind the steering wheel, but it would say Google self-driving, and then they changed the name to Waymo. I can see if I can show you, actually, as long as we're talking about it, and it doesn't matter. I'll search for Waymo taxi. Let's go. Like apparently, they were doing it in Phoenix too. So yeah, here they are. They're doing it. Yeah, so they're doing it in San Francisco. They've been doing it for at least 6 months, I guess. I'd kind of like to do it just to see how it works. But yeah, once it totally works, you definitely don't need taxi drivers. Anyway, that's one of the things. Like, it's one of the things I was thinking is how people consistently misjudge risk, especially when it comes to like future technologies or new technology or new things. Like people will think, oh, the self-driving car is not safe, but they'll get in an Uber with someone who could be a terrorist or kill them or whatever without even thinking about it, So in particular, so before people decide to buy a self-driving car themselves, they still might be willing to take a ride in a self-driving taxi or something. But people will probably get used to it. Let's take a look. You want to see? This is a local news story. Yeah, I can play this.
self-driving taxi service called Waymo is coming to Los
Waymo.
Angeles.
The service
Oh,
already
cool.
up and
Yeah.
running in San Francisco. Rich DeMuro takes us for a ride in one of the cars in today's Tech Smart.
So I'm here in San Francisco where Waymo has fully autonomous cars picking up people and dropping them off just like a taxi, except the big difference is there's no driver. We got to try this out. The way you do this is kind of like any other rideshare. You open up the app, 555 Laguna Street, $9. It says I'll see you in 8 minutes. The ride is about $9. While we wait for this, I'll tell you about the car that's going to pick me up. It's a Jaguar I-Pace all-electric car. For safety reasons, the cars stop in certain areas to pick you up. And so on your app, it'll tell you I should walk 90 feet ahead to where it's safe to pick me up. So there's the car. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's got
You
all
use your
kinds of
phone to
crazy
unlock the
stuff.
car, then you can open the trunk, put your stuff in the back, and let's go in.
See, this is why I think the Google one has got to be safer. They've got like a million things spinning on that thing to make sure it doesn't crash. Elon just uses cameras. He's got Elon Musk has decided that you don't need. I think most of them use LiDAR, laser, to search ahead. I think his just use cameras and doesn't have all that spinning stuff. So I feel a lot safer on one of these. Anyway, we'll check it out.
Oh, this is so wild. Here we are inside the self-driving car. It says, good afternoon, start ride, and I see my destination right there. And I even have a place to charge my phone. All right, to start the ride, here we go.
Heading to Ben & Jerry's. Please make sure your seatbelt is fastened. For any questions,
Oh my
press the
gosh.
call support button to speak with a rider support agent.
It's cruising the street just like a regular driver would. We're actually passing another Waymo. Do they honk to each other? And I love that you see the map on the screen here. What's really interesting is that this car is very sure of itself. It's not like creeping along the streets. It's driving like a real human would. So you feel like it's confident about what it's doing. The best part is watching the wheel move all by itself.
Proceeding on Waller Street.
You got your map view, your music, your temperature. You can even adjust the temperature. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, here we go. We got a truck that's in our lane and we're just going around it. No big deal.
That's pretty good.
So how's your day going? Oh wait, I forgot. If you're sitting where I'm sitting, you really wouldn't even know there's not a person in the seat in front of you driving.
Door here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting and don't forget any items in the trunk.
So here, there's the poofy piece from KTLA 5 in LA. So it's moving to LA too, huh? Yeah. It will replace drivers pretty fast. I mean, well, it's just a question of the cost, to deploy it and stuff. But once the cost gets reasonable, then yeah, I don't see if it should theoretically be cheaper than a person because you don't have to pay the person. But then again, how does it? There are little things like Short Cipher said, will there be self-driving DoorDash? Well, there are just little things that are like big challenge, like really big challenges. Maybe not crazy, but one of them is how does it? It's probably electric. How does it recharge? Like somebody has to stick the thing right. Otherwise, you need. So there's automation, or there's AI, and then there's robotics. Robotics is really challenging. So even though the AI can figure it out, you need to have something that can, pick up the thing. So they'll probably develop it. But that's why I saw a person in the passenger seat of this car And that person might work for Google. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that person was with the news team or if that person stays with the car. So it might be that there's a driverless car, but there's still a human that monitors it, while it's in testing and stuff. But yeah, self-driving taxis though, for sure that's definitely, and it was always like a lucrative job. And especially in cities. So, and Uber, it's a job for a lot of people. I drove for Uber before. I think I prefer this, but DoorDash, no, they can't. I mean, yeah, it could be a self-driving car for safety and stuff, but getting out of the car, that's the problem. You got to go in and, it would make it's human is too good at the little stuff. Walking into the restaurant, waiting for the order, picking up stuff, carrying it, finding an apartment number. I mean, it'll be so long. Some of these apartments, like you have no idea where they are. So I'd like to see a robot go to some of these places and be like, what do you say? So no, they can't. Definitely DoorDash, no. But taxi, yes. If you don't have to get out. So anyway, that's the self-driving car thing. I just want to bring it up because I was talking about it to somebody last night. And yeah, well, for one thing, my mom is a really bad driver. So that's one reason that I have like a personal reason that it would have been nice. Like I really feel like my mom could have like done a bunch of stuff that she didn't do because she was afraid to drive. First, like she was afraid to drive at night, right? So then couldn't drive at night. But then she just started running into stuff. And it would have been, Uber didn't exist and we're pretty rural anyway. So self-driving car would have been cool for that, for people who are just like shit drivers. She came home one day, the car was all fucked up. She was like, I wasn't here, but she didn't even know what happened. So yeah, self-driving cars they're okay. I don't trust humans. I know what humans do when they drive. I know what I do when I drive. Sometimes I text and I got a ticket for that. So, but yeah, self-driving DoorDash, no, I think it'll be a long time before they get the robots for that. But robots, man, it's a big story. That's why I wonder about Elon Musk and whether it's correct that it's bad that we're depopulating. Like, I understand why it's bad or the ways that it's bad. But what's everybody going to do? Eventually, they're going to automate, most things. So what are we all going to do? Like for fun? Like, I don't even know. So do we need more? Then we need more people because, eventually they're going to have robots that can pick the strawberries. So all the people that live all the people that are immigrants here that come here and pick strawberries and drive their old Hondas, like, what are they going to do? But that's a little harder. Robotic stuff. Well, like the main thing humans have going for them is like this. That's like the main thing. It's like almost impossible to do as well as us. Like, oh, we can grab things. That's what we got going for us. Like, that's our main asset. Oh, I can pick stuff up without crushing it. We use the right amount of force. It's really hard. Turning tools and stuff, super hard to do. They're going to do it, but it's super hard. So yeah, that's why DoorDash is probably safe, except DoorDash might go out of business, but whatever. There'll be delivery something. Delivery will continue to exist, I assume. All right, that's the story about Elon Musk, self-driving cars. Let me check to see how things are going. I've already been going for an hour and 40 minutes. All right, let's just do a halftime check. I did get a tip over on Rockfin. New study shows, 2 tips. What's the difference between George Michael and a microwave oven? Microwave stops when you open the door. Oh, I didn't know. I don't know the whole story. Microwave stops when you open the door. He kept going. Is that the point? He got caught in the bathroom and then he was like, oh, I'm just going to finish. Is that what happened? I respect that. He's like, what? You're interrupting? I respect that. That's an okay joke. Michelle Obama is a man to $5 says, I really enjoyed Elon's schooling of the BBC journalist. Thanks, Michelle Obama is a man. One E6. Yeah, well, that's exactly. What kills more people, Teslas or drunk drivers? Yeah, drunk drivers pretty much. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? People drive. I would think alcoholics would love it. Already, like if you live in LA, now I just think about it. I got pulled over so many times after I've been drinking. They just got lucky. I never, I wasn't over the limit or passed the sobriety test or whatever. But now, especially in places like LA, I would definitely just take Uber. Well, also because then you don't have to, it's worth it because you have to pay $20 to park anyway. So you might as well just pay for somebody to drive you there. I think that, it's still expensive, but yeah, with robot cars, yeah, it's good. Back in the day, they had this thing called, I think it was called Call Jeeves or something. Do you guys remember that? There was this thing where a guy would come, if you were drunk, you could call a guy who would show up on a scooter that folds up and then drive your car with you in it back to your house as a sober driver. You guys ever hear of that? I don't know if that was just in LA or what. It's called Call Jeeves or something. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. You probably don't believe me. I remember it was like, oh yeah, he'll come in like a scooter, which folds up and goes in your trunk, and then he'll drive you home in your car. That's a good service, right? Let me see. Hold on. Here, let's see. Oh no, it must have been called something else. Yeah, it must be called something else. What happened? Hold on. Oh no. No, I can't find it. It did exist though, trust me. It did exist at one time, I believe. Okay. Oh yeah, let's check to see if I got any coffees. It is really important. Okay, let's see. buymeacoffee.com/liftveil. Otherwise, I'll have to run okay. I did get 3 coffees. Okay. Otherwise, what I'll start doing is I'll just start filibustering. I'll just start talking about stuff that you hate until I get a donation. I'll start talking about stuff that's really, or I'll run an ad. Thanks, Jackie and Kyle. That's cool. 2 of you. That's cool. It's a social experience watching the Lift the Veil show. Thanks, Jackie and Kyle. You are cool, whoever you are. Who says cheers, which is a drinking expression, right? I like saying that to people. That's what English people say, I think. I say cheers in my emails sometimes. I say cheers. I think it's... Thank you, Jackie and Kyle. I appreciate it. If you'd like to support the show, yeah, I could just start holding the show hostage. That's what I could do. buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Okay, somebody sent me a video of Joe Rogan discussing. Let's see. We haven't even gotten to Ali Akbar. Somebody sent me a video of Joe Rogan discussing the beer thing. So, okay. Oh, really? Oh, really? Wow. This might be interesting. Get ready for something that might be interesting based on what I read about it so far, but I haven't seen it. Oh, no. Oh. Okay, got it. Okay, here we go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, you got that guy Keith, you got Lucas.
There's a lot of good guys.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
A lot of good women there. A lot of good. There's a couple non-binaries.
Yeah,
we got at least one.
Checking all the boxes.
It's a diverse group. We gave him his own Bud Light after the first week. We put his face on a can.
Do you have any beer in here?
Yeah, you want a beer?
I'd take a light beer.
Okay, let's get some Bud Lights. Let's do this.
Yeah.
In support of Bud Light in their time
Let's
of
be
stress.
allies by getting a little day drunk.
We're gonna be allies.
Yeah.
You know, because Kid Rock and Travis Tritt have put the fucking hammer down.
I know. They were really fucking fighting the good fight, man.
Here's my take.
Okay.
Like what you're doing, what they're doing is just spreading the brand to an extra group of people.
Yeah.
Why, if something is good, do you give a fuck who's got it? Like, would we do this with cheesecake? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there was like a bomb ass cheesecake and all of a sudden, you know, some radical group like Antifa really got into the cheesecake, who'd be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And if the Cheesecake Factory sent Antifa a cheesecake, you know, for 10 more years of chaos, you know, like a celebratory.
Yeah. If only ISIS had Bear Claw donuts, I'm still eating those fucking
But on the
donuts.
other hand, I love Kid Rock's video because I love that. I love cheers,
man.
I love that kind of thinking.
There's
Not
nothing
even
wrong
that
with
I
this.
agree with it. I like wild people.
Yeah.
I like a
raising
dude,
hell, man.
I like a dude who takes a machine gun to a stack of Bud Lights and is like, fuck Anheuser-Busch.
This will show up.
But I mean, where's he going to go now? You going to go to Coors?
Miller Lite.
Don't they all support like LGBTQ plus AI, whatever the hell else they're attaching to issues? They all do.
I mean, I'm from Colorado, and Coors has had those rainbow cans forever.
Fucking Shane Gillis is heartbroken.
I was with him.
Favorite beer.
I
And
was
he
opening
didn't-
for him last weekend.
This is what sucks. He drinks Bud Light every time he does Protect Our Parks. Those things have fucking millions of views.
I know.
Whereas his
I got the point. I don't want to get I don't need to play the whole thing. I get it. What a loser. What a sellout. What a sucker. Like how disrespectful. I feel like some people have like legitimate concerns. Yeah, some people got the facts wrong. Some people are reacting, etc. But for like, there are, I don't know. It's bad because what Dylan Mulvaney does is offensive to women, right? It's like not even about. That's why like men, a lot of men don't get it, I guess. But it's offensive to women that Dylan Mulvaney got an ad, you know. That's why that's the legitimate reason for being upset. Because Dylan Mulvaney is impersonating them and getting rich off of it. But really, dude, man, how weak, right? It's pretty weak. Pretty weak. But he's a sellout, I guess. I mean, that's the thing, right? They probably paid him a lot of money. So that's what they did, okay? So actually, like the Wharton MBA or Bud Light, Budweiser, they're like, how do we fix this? Right? So this is so we can imagine what happened. Oh my God, what's happening? Like our marketing vice president is getting exposed. All the people hate us. Like, what do we do? What influencer do we give Bud Light to save us? And they're like, oh, Joe Rogan. People say he's all right wing. That's what they did. Well, I said it right. I said they should advertise right. Okay, so that's what they did. Okay. I'd like to hear his whole argument, but I don't want to just play the whole thing because I could get a copyright strike or something. I already saw them open the beers, drink the beers. How stupid. What a setup. Product placement. That's what I should start doing. Orange turmeric. Pressed. So good. So gay. Who cares? It's funny. Well, it was like they did compare transgender to ISIS. So that's something. That's what I would do. Like if I was going to say, oh my God, that's what I would do. If I was like a transgender activist, instead of, that would be like my impression of a transgender activist, right? Because they hate Joe Rogan because he doesn't want transgender women in sports. So instead of like taking the win, like, oh, look, he's standing up for transgender people, they'd be like, oh, did you hear on Joe Rogan they compared transgender people to ISIS? That's what I would say. I can't believe it. Ban, But if you had like transgender person was like, oh yeah, did you hear that they compared us to ISIS? Let's boycott Bud Light, right? Out of the blue. Oh my God. Bud Light ran an advertising campaign with Joe Rogan. Let's boycott, trans people say. That'd be funny. He's a transphobe. So that's Joe Rogan. Yeah, it's kind of weak, right? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. I don't know. I mean, my reaction, I was out and getting something to eat, and there was something that said burger and a beer for like $15 or something, which in California is, I was like, wow, that's really cheap. Because a beer might be like $8 normally. A burger was like 15 or something. I was like, oh, that's great. Burger and a beer for, I'm going to get that. And I'm walking to the thing, and then in the window, I see this neon Bud Light sign. I'm like, oh no. If that's the beer that you get, I don't want that, So I don't know, man. Joe the Toe Rogan. But it's all right. So much respect to Joe Rogan, whatever. He's super successful. But pumped up on hormones too. Like, what's the difference between like, what's up, Joe? Did you transition or something? Like, what do you need the hormones for? Like, if Joe Rogan's like, yeah, I'm actually a woman, but I'm taking all this testosterone. So Jimmy Berman, you still think that's expensive? Oh, a hamburger's $15. At Five Guys, it might have been $10 just for a burger at Five Guys. I had one the other day. It was pretty good. In and Out, it's cheaper, but if you go to like there's a hamburger stand. It's like for basic burgers, like $12 or something. It's normal. It's because they pay so much. It's because of our minimum wage. I mean, everything's more expensive. We pay $15.50 an hour minimum wage for everything, even people who make tips. So we got to pay. You got to pay for that communism somehow. What do you guys think? Pretty weak? Yeah, Rip the Veil. I thought it was really good. It was really good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm always around food. Like I'm around different kinds of food all day. So like sometimes I think, sometimes somebody gets something and I see it. I'm like, oh, I wish. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So anyway, that's Joe the Toe Rogan. I'll listen to the whole thing. He's like, oh yeah, it's true. I agree with them about Coors. I agree. The problem, okay, like this is the problem, and the problem with the bad comment I got. This person was like, "Oh, don't say so much." I'll say what he said. These are my first comments on Rockfin. Okay, I like these early streams. Keep it up. And then it says, I'll read you the words because I don't think words are illegal. hopefully you will keep your fawning over faggots to a minimum today. So he says something nice. Then he goes, hopefully you keep your fawning over. Okay, so sorry, but I think LGB is different than TQ plus, TQIA plus P, with a silent P. I think it's different. I don't know, man. Gay people have been around forever. But so sorry about that. But it is different. When he mentions like course, like yes, inclusivity, brands have advertised to gay people, whatever, and nobody cared. So actually, so far, what he's suggesting is like mostly what people have done is we don't have most people like don't have a problem with advertising to gay people. Same as racists don't have a problem with advertising to black people. You know, typically, like people might not like black people, but they still buy stuff that advertisers market directly to black and Hispanic people. So even like homophobic people or whatever, people who don't like gay people, haven't boycotted just because they happen to advertise to gay people sometimes. So far. But it is different, you know. Dylan Mulvaney is a female impersonator who offends people. People are like genuinely offended for good reason. You seen this transgender ballerina? It's crazy. Somebody was saying, I wonder how much they paid him. Pete Bog. You think only 200K? It could have been more. I mean, it could have been more than that. So should I say it's not weak? Or like, should we do it? You tell me. Like, what do you do? Bud Light says, hey, lift the veil. Like, you have our target demographic. We need you to fix this Dylan Mulvaney problem we created. Just pretend you really like Bud Light and that people are being crazy for saying they won't drink Bud Light. I wonder if he's just getting roasted. I got to follow this. This must be happening in real time. He must be getting roasted. Joe Rogan. He is already kind of liberal, so people give him a hard time, but let me see what's going on with Joe the Toe. Rogan. Joe's take on the Bud Light controversy with, would we do this with cheesecake? Okay, so here, it's like just happening. Literally, these posts are from minutes ago. They must be watching the show or something. Maybe I should tweet out the show. A little late for that. So far, it's like there's just a few tweets. I don't even see a 200K. I mean, it's nice, right? It's hard taking sponsorships because you gotta debase yourself. Here's somebody who says, L take on the Bud Light. I think you missed the point. Oh, well. He replied. Okay, so here we go. Man, there's hardly any tweets about it. Oh, okay. Okay, so somebody replied to the JRE companion. People haven't seen it yet, I don't think. Mediate. What is today? The 12th? Where are the latest? Let me take a look. Wow, they just dropped it. Mediate just published this. Tuck Frump published something 17 minutes ago. So Tuck Frump, people got to be going nuts. Here's somebody replying. Joe Rogan drinks. All right, let's see what it says under Tuck Frump. Backdoor Eddie. Tell me you're super gay. Backdoor Eddie says, nice. I hope his listeners are having a meltdown. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is going to go over well. I don't know what to say about it exactly. He is like a sellout, though. Yeah, he's sold out about all kinds of stuff, though. He doesn't really. He did sell out over the moon landing. And they stopped talking to Eddie Bravo. It's kind of not cool. And then 9/11, right? Like, why doesn't he ever do a 9/11 thing? He used to, I think. And he stopped. Now he's talking about Bud Light and how we wouldn't do this with cheesecake. Would we do it with cheesecake? Yeah, we would. I mean, it's just like maybe he thinks that's funny to say. It's like, oh, if the product's good, then who cares? I mean, that's what they're saying. That's not reflective of, like, it actually does matter. It's, some stuff matters. That's why the guy was like, oh, if ISIS made donuts or something, or if ISIS liked donuts. But it's true, and it's a good point for other cases where, like, people say, oh, they just say, oh, you're saying the same thing as not people who like Nazis or something. That's what people say, and that is crazy. People say, oh, that's what Nazis say. You're like, okay, but is it true? Or so, like, if somebody agrees with you, or like Donald Trump, people are like, Donald Trump was endorsed by white nationalist KKK leader. Who is the guy? I forget his name. David Duke. It's like, Donald Trump was endorsed by David Duke. Therefore, okay, it's true. Like, you can't control who drinks beer. You're not saying transgender people can't like Bud Light and drink it. And if a transgender person likes Bud Light and drinks it, but the weird thing about it with Dylan Mulvaney is, like, he doesn't even like. Obviously, he's not a Bud Light guy, and he's not into sports, so he's not really the right spokesperson for Bud Light. Joe Rogan a little better, but Joe Rogan would never drink that stuff. I'm curious how much he got paid. Do you guys want to find out? How much did Joe Rogan get paid for Bud Light ad? I mean, who's gonna know? Who's gonna find out how much he got paid? I wonder, does it have to be disclosed anytime? But it must be that's what they decided to do, Budweiser. Trying to save the company. So I was thinking about it, I was like, well, what do they do? How do they win people back over? Show that they, show that they're part of the. Yeah, they'd have to advertise. See, if they advertised on Daily Wire or something like really conservative, or someone that's been really critical of them, if they're like, oh no, we support you too, for example, we're going to support Dylan Mulvaney, but that doesn't mean we don't support you, and we also value you. I don't know. see. Jack Attack says, how sad would it be if your sexuality or gender was your entire personality? You would have no knowledge of your self-worth. Yeah, I know. Like, I feel, in a way, I feel like Dylan is a little bit of a victim of the times, because he's just like a performer who like really likes attention. He like loves attention, wants to be famous, wants people to look at him, wants people, so he just picked like the best way to do it in today's time, to have people really notice you. So, but we'll see. Interesting. Joe Rogan got paid. Must be nice. All right. So that's the Joe Rogan story. Interesting. Mason Turner says, yeah, what's wrong with showing a preference? I don't know. I personally, I try to think about where I spend my money, in general, and think, okay, as long as you're giving somebody money, I mean, I think people don't do that enough. They don't think, I like to go places where I like the people, where the people are nice to me, where maybe I know the owner, like I'll go to the coffee shop instead of going to Starbucks or something. If I have a choice, I'll go to the place where it's local. I know the people are really cool. And I'd rather spend my money there. So if Bud Light is doing something that you don't love, then you have a choice, pay somebody that you do want to have your money. I think people don't think about that enough, to be honest. Who their money is going towards. So, and whether, it's stuff made in China, also same thing. It's like, if you said boycott China, like what if everybody was like boycott China, and then Joe Rogan was like, oh no, China's great. That'd be funny. But it's true. Like every time you buy a product that's made in China, somebody's doing well over there instead of. And yeah, some Americans probably making some money off of it, but Bud Light. I didn't check Nike stock. I didn't check Nike. Oh, I didn't even send out the show yet. Gosh. I'm bad at my social medias. All right, so that's the story about that. I told you I'd tell you about the Milo Yiannopoulos stuff. Dianne Feinstein, Democrats are calling for Dianne Feinstein to resign, by the way. I didn't know that story. Democrats are calling on Dianne Feinstein to resign. Apparently, she's like totally lost it. And she's my senator, one of them. So I wonder. So anyway, I saw Democrats saying, oh, it's time for Feinstein to go. So apparently they're having trouble getting stuff done because she's not around. And apparently she doesn't know what's going on. That's what it says. Veteran Senator Dianne Feinstein is sometimes unable to recognize longstanding colleagues or keep up with arguments in the chamber, according to a new report. The San Francisco Chronicle reports that on one recent conversation with another lawmaker, Feinstein, 88, who recently lost her husband, quote, repeated the same small talk questions with no apparent recognition the two had already had a similar conversation. Told them, quote, that her memory is rapidly deteriorating and that she can no longer fulfill her job duties without her staff doing much of the work required to represent the nearly 40 million people of California. The sources said that on good days, Feinstein is nearly as sharp as she used to be. Yeah, the Chronicle pointed out that she performed well during confirmation hearings for Ketanji Brown Jackson. So apparently Feinstein's not doing so well. And I saw Democrats, like Twitter Democrats, saying, oh, it's time for Feinstein to go 88, huh? Man, all these old dinosaurs. I don't know what it would mean. Probably be another Democrat. But she's having trouble making votes and stuff. I guess they're having trouble getting people appointed because of her. And then there was Fetterman with his depression and stuff. Apparently he's back. And now that he's in there, like, I wish him the best, whatever. Honestly. Fetterman, I'm not going to make fun of him for having problems. But he had that stroke and stuff. I mean, it could be related to his health problems is all. So people weren't crazy thinking he might not be able to do his job. But now that he's doing it, I certainly wish him the best. Anyway, this is, okay. Mason Turner says you can just buy a different brand beer. No one is boycotting beer. Yeah, exactly. People have choices. Did I have something else? I can't remember if there was something I was going to tell you. Inflation is down again. So basically the Fed's not going to, you want to switch to financial news? All right. Well, or do you guys want to take phone calls? What do you want to do? Bitcoin. Inflation is down today. Warren Buffett said that Bitcoin is bad. Hold on, let me see if I can play this.
The idea of this legalized gambling and it's spreading in the States and everything that's happening right now, you think that's changing the games? You think there are situations where the spread's not going to be made and it's because somebody is doing it, they've been paid
Well, I think
off?
everybody in the country spent all their time gambling, flipping coins against each other. Somebody would win 20 times in a row, every, million times or something like that. You have 330 million people doing it. You've got 330 people that call the coin flip correct or something. I mean, the urge to participate in something where it looks like easy money is, it's a human instinct which has been unleashed. It's always there. I mean, and when my dad was in Congress in the House office building, I could go to the elevator and yell Sammy, and the guy would come up to take numbers bets, which were illegal, on the fourth floor of the House office building. And it's people love the idea of getting rich quick. I don't blame them, but I've always wanted to get rich slow, and I have a lot of fun along the way. But I'm not immune from it. I've bet on football games. I made one wager at the sports book in Nevada, and I was out there with a couple of friends, and I went up and bet on Nebraska against it. And about 10 people got up behind me and said, I'll have what he's having. It's got like Meg Ryan in the movie. And so.
Who cares? You're so boring. You're so old and boring, dude. Let's move on. Times have changed. But yeah, I guess they're talking about gambling. I was looking for the clip. He said something. Billionaire Warren Buffett said, Bitcoin is a gambling token and it doesn't have any intrinsic value. I just think, okay, awesome. Sometimes people win. They have a joke about gambling addicts. They say a gambling addict always quits right before he makes his money back. Gambling addict always quits right before they're about to make all their money back. That's what happened to me with Bitcoin a little bit. I think I can get Michael Saylor to give me some Bitcoin for fucking me over. It's not his fault. But yeah, inflation is down a little bit. They probably won't raise rates anymore. It's good for Bitcoin. Good for Bitcoin, good for gold. So good financial news for Bitcoin and gold probably today. Probably. Let's see. We're awake. Oh yeah, silver is up a bunch today. Gold is up $10. Silver is getting is up to 25.6. That's pretty good, man. Silver is pumping a little bit. Wonder how the dollar is doing. The dollar is down. Yeah, the dollar keeps going down. That's also good for gold and Bitcoin, particularly for gold, but also for Bitcoin. Dollar is dying. Dollar is dying because they're attacking it, because nobody wants it anymore. Nobody likes us anymore. All right, we don't want you. We don't want your crap. You guys heard? Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping me coffees. You guys heard another fake narrative is that the Mario Brothers movie was anti-woke, and it did great. It did do great, but it wasn't actually anti-woke. That's all. From what people are saying, I didn't see it, but it's just a normal movie. I guess like Top Gun. People are saying like just a normal movie with heterosexual themes. Video game character meets princess. Princess thinks he's awesome. So it was just normal though. It did well, but it wasn't actually specific. Like it didn't have like sexist or whatever anti-woke would be themes. In fact, I heard it was a little feminist. Like maybe the princess, but I don't know. I didn't see it. Maybe I should watch it. This is a funny clip from Tropic. This is one of my favorite. This is a great scene. And actually it's like a definitely redeeming scene and character for Tom Cruise. Or like every time you think Tom Cruise is just totally lame. And he is, man, the Scientology and stuff is so crazy. But he created this character. Apparently he created the character of Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder. Tom Cruise did. And it is maybe one of the all-time funniest scenes. Anyway, I don't know how, man, this is like, I don't know how people do this. It's pretty good technology. Check this out. It's pretty funny. And then, I have to go over Ali Akbar, right? This is just funny. Here, I'll play it.
Kill him. This is Les Grossman. Who is this? This is Flaming Dragon! Oh, okay. Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up. Kill him. This is Les Grossman. Who is this?
That's got to be the greatest scene. I have to decide what the greatest movie scene of all time is. I don't even know if I ever watched that full movie. But that scene where he's dancing and stuff. Oh my God. So classic. Super classic. But yeah, I was reading under this Twitter thread and it said Tom Cruise totally came up with that character. Like it wasn't even in the script. Somebody just gave him the script. Guess Ben Stiller wrote it. And he came up with Les Grossman. What does he say? God, that's a great scene. That scene, the Alec Baldwin scene in Glengarry Glen Ross, put that coffee down. That's got to be one of the greatest scenes. Put that coffee down. That's got to be one of the greatest scenes. And a good playwright too, David Mamet. Okay. Joe Rogan, man. How weak. I feel like. Misinformation is trending That's funny. The word misinformation is trending. Yeah, misinformation is always trending on Twitter. Misinformation is never not trending on Twitter. That's like the main thing that trends on Twitter is misinformation. But that's what people prefer, it turns out. People prefer misinformation to real information. I have this ad. I'll take some calls or something, I think. And maybe like threaten for donations or something. Or we can talk to the AI. That's so, man, what does he say? G mother effing 5. And then he said he's got a big swinging dick. He says in that scene, I think. Oh, Top Feed Coco, you're right. Yeah, there are a few scenes in True Romance, but yeah, this, but also the scene. There are a few good scenes in Pulp Fiction too, which was all True Romance was written by Tarantino, right? It's fun. It's so funny. He wrote so much racist stuff. Oh, I have this thing. I could tell you guys. I have this thing. It's kind of racist, right? But it's true. Where I could tell you the stereotypical customer of each race, pretty much, from when I was selling cars. Because it was because you have to understand different kinds of people when you sell stuff, because everybody's different. Anyway, maybe I'll get into that one day. All right, I'll take calls and figure out if you guys want to support the show. Do it. I'm doing it for longer periods of time, so I appreciate it. Yes, Susan C. Thank you. Because of Jesus and the Easter Bunny, you bought a coffee. Thank you, Susan C. I appreciate it. Well, let's see if we can get those rolling in. Yeah, True Romance was directed by Tony Scott. It was like, at the time, I believe Tarantino had 2 scripts. True Romance didn't do well in theaters. Okay. Tony Scott had just directed a big movie. Okay, hold on. Let me think it. Okay, yeah, this is how it goes with True Romance. Tarantino had 2 scripts. Tony Scott had just done, oh man, what had he done? Top Gun? Or something? Hold on, Tony Scott. He had done some big movie. Aliens? Oh, he did Top Gun. Yeah. Yeah, he did Top Gun. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Tony Scott's Ridley Scott's brother. Ridley Scott did Aliens, right? So he had just come out with Top Gun. Quentin Tarantino was like a big, like up and coming, like people saw that he was a talented screenwriter. He had 2 screenplays, Reservoir Dogs and True Romance. And he couldn't make them both because he directed his movies too, right? So he couldn't make them both, I think. So he sold True Romance to Tony Scott, or to whoever hired Tony Scott to produce it. And it was going to be a big deal, but then it flopped at the box office. Pretty much. It wasn't a big movie, but it did really well it became a cult classic. It did really well in DVD sales and movie sales and stuff once that happened. Really one of like the most epic movies and like one of the most epic casts of all time. All right. Well, we're still going to have to do a little better. You guys have to, you guys have to realize like my time is valuable. I know I have to get more people tuned in. We're giving you guys like, this is like solid gold content, which I know for a fact you can't get anywhere else. So just help me out. Just a few coffees would be great. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. Aliens was James Cameron. The first Alien was Ridley Scott. Okay. Yeah, Christian Slater. It was Who's? Let me cast of. Let's see. 1993. Gary, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what's crazy about it. It's like Gary Oldman is in it and it has like a minor part. And Gary Oldman might be one of the greatest actors of all time. One of them. Christopher had Brad Pitt, and then Brad Pitt played a minor role. Even more minor, Val Kilmer played the character of Elvis, but who never even appeared on camera. Val Kilmer was in it. Christopher Walken, Patricia Arquette, yeah, Christian Slater, Balky from Perfect Strangers, that's Bronson Pinchot, Dennis Hopper, Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport's the guy, he's sometimes annoying, right? Michael Rappaport, nowadays, right? Oh, what the hell, man? It sucks. Stupid. Yeah, written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott. You can call in 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. Thanks, Twisted TB. Holy cow, 99 cents. Thank you. Twisted TB. Thank you. 99 cents. 69 cents after Google takes their thing. 69 cents. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I just need how many more of those? How many more of those super chats? 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. Loud. Hey, you're on the air.
What's up, Nate?
Nothing. What's up with you? Who's this?
So I figured this is Toffee.
Hey, Coco. What's up?
I figured no one else was calling in on movie night. So do you remember that movie, The Pledge?
The Pledge? I don't think I ever watched The Pledge.
It's actually really good all around, but you wouldn't think it, but there's a scene in it where with Mickey Rourke, and like if you're a fan of like, you know, specific scenes of movies where people, you know, because you're an actor, right? It's actually like, it's amazing. It was before he had completely fucked his face up, but
yeah,
I would suggest you watch that movie and at least check out that scene.
Okay, The
That would be one.
Pledge. The Pledge with Mickey Rourke, huh? Yeah, I'm trying to think of my
Well,
some of my favorite scenes.
It
like,
was.
Go ahead.
No, it was Jack Nicholson was the main character in it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke just has this bit part, but he just fucking nails it, you know?
Really? Yeah, there are some. Yeah, I'm thinking of my favorite scenes. I'm thinking like Goonies and the Well is one of my favorite scenes when like Corey Feldman is like loses it on everybody. They're like, no, you can't take these. These are people's wishes. And he's like, he goes, but this one right here, this was my dream, my wish. It didn't come true. So I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back. That was a good scene. And then, yeah, I really like Glengarry Glen Ross is a great movie for, especially if you're into sales though, and a great play too. But man, that movie, the cast is so.
That's Jack Lemmon, right?
Oh my God, Jack Lemmon, the Alec Baldwin, the gay predator who's such a good actor. You know who I'm talking about from House of Cards. Kevin Spacey. Yeah, Kevin Spacey is in it. He's pretty young. Yeah, I mean the cast is Al Pacino is in that movie. It's just great. It's just insane. Yeah, it's really good.
I probably haven't seen that movie in like almost 2 decades or something.
Yeah. It's good
I'll rewatch it based on your recommendation.
It's good. I like I haven't done sales and stuff. I always end up liking a lot of stuff from sales. Like actually, maybe one of my favorite scenes would be from Fargo, from the car dealership, you know, but he's like, oh,
yes.
Oh, so you want the undercoat? You know,
clear coat.
Yeah. He's like, let me go talk to my manager. And he's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. That's a good scene. And then there's a good episode of one of my favorite Seinfeld episodes also is at the car dealership where Elaine's stupid boyfriend is a car salesman and Jerry's trying to buy a car from him. And they're just like stuck. It's a classic.
So do you have like do you ever find yourself kind of agreeing along with like Sam? Like, do you ever watch Sam Hyde and his buddy Nick Roquefort talking about car sales?
No, I haven't. No. That's interesting. I didn't know. No, I don't really watch that stuff. What do they say?
Just some of the brutal. You know, they'll have like the stories of like this one day this type of guy showed up, or the way they'd, you know, just be in the back doing this or that, and you know, someone shows up, and you know, the hijinks that go along with it, or like, you know, getting over on people selling pieces of shit, and
Yeah.
It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, first of all, like it was like I remember when I first started in the car business, it was like really people were really racist and really sexist, and like it was the most like racist, misogynistic environment. But you know, it was fun. But you know, we had a manager.
It's all about the bottom line, so you get to be honest, right?
Yeah. So just every time like a girl would walk by, you know, your manager's like, "Oh, check out." Like we had code words for stuff, and like we had a manager. His name was Mark, and some people would call him Mark the Shark, but then because he was black, we'd call him Mark the Mud Shark. But
did you make that name up for him?
No, there's this other guy I worked with that would just tell racist jokes. I mean, he had nicknames for black people I've never even heard. Like he would say like stump jumpers, and I was like, stump jumpers. I remember. But then my manager,
never heard that either.
Then my manager, he didn't care. He was like, he was going to write a book about selling cars to different races, because it's totally true. Like you can't. You have, if you go into a negotiation or something not understanding the person that you're going to be negotiating with, like you could totally get fucked up, you know, like when a white person says, you know, give me your best price, it's a lot different than when like a Persian person says that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that's your starting price of now you're going to negotiate from that.
Yeah, right. Like if you just are honest and stuff, like you go into it and somebody's like, and like a Persian or Indian or somebody is like, oh, give me your best price. And then you're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll give you my best price. They're like, okay, so I want to pay $10,000 less. You know what I mean? They're immediate. Like,
yeah, they always have to get something extra it's like I knew this guy from like Jordan, and it's like a cultural thing. I hate dealing with the desert people.
Yeah,
but they because it's offensive. It's like you're not in your own element here. This is not how we do this. And but we've put up with it for so long because, you know, it's like money talks, bullshit walks. But I got like actually a great deal on a deal I was putting together once, because I straight up was like, well, I'm fucking walking away. Like, cause it's like, yeah, this is our best price. This is the bottom line. And they tried that, like niggling in like other things. And I'm all, no, that's not part of it. I'm like, oh, if you want to go back to it. And then I just started with a lower number and added that in. And I think they were shocked. Like, wow, white people don't usually do that.
Yeah, no, there's this other thing where it's like, it's not even about, to some cultures, the negotiation it's like really important that they go through a process where they feel
save face.
Like they feel like they've really tortured you, you know? So you have to like make them believe that they've gone through that process, and the price doesn't even matter. It's like more of like, it's like a dance. They're like, oh, like you say this, I say this, you go to your manager, I call you an idiot, you know? And then at the end, they're like, oh, you want to come over for, you know, it's so.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Persians are funny because the Persian Jews in Beverly Hills.
Like we actually like, we're more offended by it, and we'll take it like personally. Whereas when it's done, they're like, "Wait, why are you mad at me?" You're like, "Because you just spent the last 2 hours being a prick."
Yeah. When it's all over, they're like, "Oh, you're so cool. Like, why don't you come over to dinner?" Or what? Like, it's so bizarre. But but when you're in the negotiation, like you feel like they want to kill you. You know, it's so funny. Yeah. Persian Jews like run Beverly Hills. I was selling cars in Beverly Hills, so we had to deal with them. Yeah, this one sales guy was like, he's like, oh yeah, it's like wrestling with a tiger, you know, like it's like so difficult, but yeah, but it's okay. I mean, yeah, they're really nice. They're actually really nice. It's just, it's like their culture, you know. There's this other thing that I heard about Persians is like they have this they have this like, I don't know what to call it, a routine or whatever, where you have to pay for dinner, and like you literally like try to fight somebody. So like so it's like this whole thing about, oh, I'm going to pay for dinner. No, I'm going to pay for dinner, you know? And I just think, oh, when somebody offers to pay for dinner, I'm like, oh, you're so nice. That's great. Thanks. You know?
Yeah. And I have a rule of like, I might fight once.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
well, are you sure?
Yeah.
But
right.
after that, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I appreciate it. And they're like, oh, how dare you?
Yeah, right.
You
Right,
cheapskate bastard.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, different cultures are different, but it's not like there's anything wrong with them or making fun of them. It's just like, you know, they're different. Like for example, like you could say it's racist, but in my experience as a car salesman, Black people don't have good credit. You know what I mean? Like compared to, so like that's a thing. Like, you know, if so, you know, that going into it, it's like, oh, okay, this, you know, maybe like if like, you know, the stereotypical thing is like you have a Black customer, they're like, oh, I love this car. You know, they don't even try to negotiate on the price. So you're like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Right. And then they're like, okay, here's my credit.
Unfortunately, I could not secure the Lindy.
Yeah, that's what would happen all the time. Is they'd be like, oh yeah, oh perfect, I love it. Okay, here's my trade-in, right? And you know, I have zero money down, and like my credit score sucks, and like then you're there for like 4 hours trying to get the bank to get them done and stuff. But yeah, I mean, but it's not racist.
But by the time they walk out without a car, you've just seen your buddy like haggling Abdul finally like close it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'm sure it's way different now, but I mean, but who knows? I mean, it's appropriate. It is appropriate. It is actually appropriate to learn how to categorize people so that you know how to negotiate with them.
Yeah,
because
it's like
if it's a Chinese person, for
actuaries.
example, you know, it's different, you know. So some people will lie
Well,
to you, you know. So.
Like, why is it wrong to do it in sales, but it's totally accurate to do it for like life insurance?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
You categorize people based on, you know, it's like,
right.
Sorry, this is what the statistics say, and if you go into like, you know, a losing battle to begin with like, you know, the wrong tactic, you're just wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, you want to be successful, you know, so yeah, I know. And also they like it better too. I mean, they want to do whatever the song and dance is. So, okay, whatever. But
when they walk in, I showing that car. You're like, let's just pull your credit.
Yeah. There's all kinds of jokes about the car business, you know, like the guy that walks in and goes, okay, who wants to sell me a car? And like everybody runs away, you know. They're like, you know, oh no.
I'm gonna remember that next time I'm going to buy a car. I'm just gonna walk in all brash, like, who wants to sell me a car? I'll get the guy sweeping the floor, and like he'll be like, oh no way, I made commission today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny. I worked at a car dealership where sometimes people would walk in and like people would hide, you know, they'd be like, oh no. You know, but then other car dealerships, it's like you walk up and they're all waiting there, smoking cigarettes, like ready to harass you and stuff. So yeah, that's a whole business. But
yeah, like I sold guns for a while, and that's a weird one too, because like, I mean, I love my gun people, but you run into some interesting characters, and then there's people that they might be buying, but they come in all the time. I mean, again, I hate to like disparage gun people, but some of these guys, you're like, do you bathe? You know, like,
right.
And then they'll sit there and negotiate, but sometimes they'll buy like 4 or 5 guns at a whack, and but guns kind of sell themselves a little more than cars.
Well, you need, I mean, the thing about cars is you need them, sort of like clothing and stuff, is like you need a car. So in a sense they sell themselves, but guns, there are only so many places you can get it. It's not like there's much competition, you know, you're not like shopping one gun dealer against another gun dealer so often. So it's pretty much, but that, must be interesting. I mean, being a gun dealer, it must be interesting because you must know that you're selling to somebody bad once in a while. And like, you have no choice. Like they have the ID, they pass the background check, and you have to sell to them, even if you know they're running it to the cartels or, using it for
Yeah, that's the whole thing about guns that doesn't bother me is it's like I don't give a fuck. I like the second you walk out of a prison, they should hand you your guns back and like good luck. Otherwise you shouldn't be out of a prison because it's like guns are everywhere. It's like I don't want to get killed with a bat or a knife or a rock or it's like you can get killed with damn near anything, a car. So it's like who gives a shit if some guy has a gun? We should just all have them and like. It would be a rough couple of months. I'll admit that there'd probably be a 2-month period of like, drunks firing through like apartment complexes and, but after that, I think Darwin would sort of sort it out.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I used to be anti-gun because, I grew up liberal and stuff and I've come around on it totally, but I still like, I have a pistol. I had one before. But I don't know if I'm ever going to use it or anything, but I appreciate the concept of not knowing whether someone is armed. Like, I like the idea of a criminal thinking I might have a gun. You know what I mean? I do kind of like the idea. I feel like, people take things more seriously when there are guns involved. So some things are less likely to happen. Like people wouldn't shop.
Mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, exactly. Right. There's even either it's a South Park or a Family Guy episode where they all have guns. And then in one of the scenes, they're all pointing guns at each other, threatening each other. And then suddenly they have a civil conversation, like for the first time. Right. Cause they're all, so that's kind of the way I feel about it. It's like, okay, well, if people are concerned, then some things don't happen. Like I don't know how it is in Florida and stuff in Texas, but it must deter criminals thinking that they're going to get killed. Just anytime a criminal is worried that someone's going to use deadly force against them, then that's a good thing to me. So,
yeah, like red counties in NorCal.
Yeah,
because I did the concealed carry tests where you have to qualify in California once a year.
You actually qualify. Where do you live?
I'm in Oregon now.
Oh, okay, but you lived in California and had a concealed carry permit. I heard.
No, I just carried concealed. I never got a permit.
Oh yeah, I heard the permit's impossible to get.
No, you could get it. It was really easy, but I just didn't want. I just don't like cops, So
yeah, right.
I just but people would come in to get their carry permit renewed. Every year they have to qualify with whatever, and you'd see these people like all throughout town. It's like everybody in town is like had a permit, and you're like, wow, there's not really a whole lot of like rando crimes here. We still had like tweakers doing tweaker things to one another, but like regular people kind of didn't get hassled that bad.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of a fucking idiot would try to rob this place, like knowing that there's 3 like old veterans just waiting to blow your head off,
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I appreciate that part of gun ownership in America and stuff, and it sucks that we have all the mass shootings, the ones that are real, but I don't know I don't know how to fix that. There's just something wrong with people. But
yeah, that's more of like, wow, we have a really perverse society going on here.
Yeah, there's just something just wrong. I just don't know like that there's a simple solution. Like banning guns isn't going to solve the problem. Like, for example, they want to ban assault rifles now, right? But assault rifles are already banned in California, and there are all kinds of mass shootings all the time with assault rifles. So, I mean, and anyway, the supposedly assault rifles are banned, but you still go to the store and you see something on the wall that looks like it just has some modifications based on which you can change with a 3D printer.
You can get a lever action Model 94 3030 or something. Like I don't want to fuck with someone that's got like a 470 or even like a 357 lever gun. So I got things a rapid fire and like that'll take you out just as good. It's just convenient to be able to swap mags out and. Right. But even if you do sell, like you were saying, like you've got to know that, that's what I say about like my buddy has a distillery, and it's like wonder how many DUIs, divorces, and like fatal car accidents are in each one of these barrels, right?
Right.
but like the guy that comes in to buy a gun that's like probably not a great person, he's already got a couple of other guns anyway though. So you know,
what can you do, man? And then the whole thing about taking guns away from people with mental illness is also kind of crazy because we just don't do that. Like sometimes people get the perception.
who writes the DSM-4 or 5?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also it's like they don't take guns away from people with depression or anxiety or bipolar or even, I don't even know, maybe schizophrenia. I'm not sure. Like the only thing I'm aware of is like you have to be determined to be a danger to yourself or others, right? Before they can.
Yeah, like
away.
threatening.
You have to threaten suicide or threaten homicide, I think, basically, or something close to it.
But the red flag stuff, like, I mean, depending on the jurisdiction, they can, I mean, not to hump on Trump a little bit, but look how they had to torture the law to get some indictments out of that thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like they torture, you know, the definition of, you know, you post a meme online and they're like, oh, see, he's totally pro, you know, some sort of hate crime or something. And then that probably is enough to open the door if you have a zealot for a DA.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah. As far as red flag laws go, is like it's okay. For example, with the Nashville shooter, apparently she posted something about being suicidal. So in that case, like if the police had known that she had said something about being suicidal, I think they would have actually had the right. I don't know, but definitely in California, but I don't know about in Tennessee. But I think they'd have the right to actually take away her guns. It's just they didn't find out in time. But I don't see a problem with that. Like if somebody literally says they're suicidal or they're going to kill somebody, then I'm okay. Like maybe people say
but the
that's
suicidal
wrong,
part, it's like I wouldn't, you know, it's like if you're going to kill yourself, I guess kill yourself. You know, like you're never going to stop someone from killing themselves. It's when they're being like, you know, loudmouths and like threatening other people. That's when it's like, all right, asshole.
Yeah, well, the way they measure it, right? If like you're 5150, you're a danger to yourself or others. Usually, is the way they say it. If you're a danger to yourself or others, then we're gonna lock you up or take away your gun or whatever.
And it's just how they take the guns too, where it's like they basically put them into the evidence locker, and then they make you kind of like re-register them to like people that go through domestic violence or not domestic, but what do you call it when someone gets the restraining orders? It's like a huge hassle where the state, once they like, it's not like they just like put them in a locker and in a couple of years you can get them or whatever. It's a whole hassle, And so if someone like says something that, in a moment, we all say like, fuck, I'd kill that guy, or oh geez, like that could be all it takes because it is threatening and it meets the criteria.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the problem. I guess that's the real problem with it is like if they like over interpret something that actually wasn't serious,
You know what the problem is that like the media and government has done a really great job of dividing people, and so we're not really like nice to one another.
No.
Then we're all like weirded out and like on the edge of wanting to do things and stuff. So it's gotten a little bit wild.
You know what I was thinking of for like I was trying to think of a good advertising campaign to save Bud Light and Budweiser. I was thinking of something where it was a commercial about people who would normally argue with each other, having a beer together, basically. You know what I mean? Like I was just thinking of something like, oh, it's like there's a conservative who's seeing stuff go on in the world and they're like, oh, holy shit, this is crazy. And it's a liberal who's seeing stuff in the world and they're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And it's like, hey man, you want to get a beer? And it's like, oh yeah, or it could be a hetero.
Or they're begrudgingly, they're like, I guess. And the second they drink it, it's like, what were we talking about again?
Yeah. And since it's beer, maybe they have a beer and they watch sports together or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It would like anything that makes it seem like people can actually get along, even though they disagree about stuff. It seems would be like a positive message.
That would work good in like a cartoon panel more, because you could like have a guy like driving around all day with like the radio on or you know, podcast. He's just like, oh, damn it, clenching his teeth, and then you show someone else driving with their coexisting on the back, and they're clenching their teeth, just like honking and road rage, and then they pull into a bar and they each order something separately, and then they're like, how's your day going? Oh, not too bad. How about you?
Something like that. Or like, man, like, or even if they complain, if they're like, man, shit's fucked up, and the guy's like, yeah, no kidding, and they're like, here's to you, man. Like,
exactly.
like that, you know,
they think they're both on the exact same page.
Right.
They're totally the person that they hate, but they don't realize it because.
Right.
And it is funny that's kind of like more often than not. Like I talked with you and Will yesterday about like talking to my sister recently, and I mean, I just I avoided every topic. I just tried to, but then she asked me if I saw like the Last of Us, right? The one about the cordyceps mushroom.
I watched that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was like watching the first episode. I'm like, oh, this ought to be pretty good, you know. And then I watched the second one, and then by the third one, I'm like, Nick Offerman is like having some gay romance. I'm like, I'm just not in the mood to watch more homosexuals do their thing, you know, like.
Yeah, and then
but my sister's like, oh,
go ahead.
No, I was just kidding. Then she's like, oh, so did you see that? I'm like, no, yeah. But I'm like, I kind of lost interest. She's like, was it that? And she like zoomed in on exactly why, because everyone knows that they blew the series by doing that.
Oh, really?
And then she wanted to have a conversation about all the stuff and like trannies and the thing. And I'm like, dude, it's like, you have no idea how much I'm trying to avoid that, because it's false. Like this false division that they've created. It's like, I don't want to fucking argue with you. I'm not trying to change their mind, dude. I'm over trying to like wake up everybody, and, you know, but it's constantly being reinforced with like she felt the need to like find a fissure in order to, and then start arguing. Like they're worse than like QBs almost. Like they make fun of us at the Thanksgiving table.
Yeah. I watched that series. I didn't find it. I'm trying to think of something I watched where I was just like, oh my God, it's gay again. I thought a little bit of that in Last of Us. It wasn't maybe did you watch all the way until you find out that the like lead character is lesbian, or the girl? Did you get that far or no?
No,
Yeah,
I watched 2 episodes and couldn't do it.
Yeah, so she ends up being gay, basically. So
of course,
whatever. I don't know. In Stranger Things,
it's just artificial, dude. I wouldn't care. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, in fact, this was another one. It made me think of like, you know, my sister doesn't know, like in Chico, there's a somewhat famous tranny in Chico, right? And it's this like big 6'4" former track star that ran with my buddy at Chico State. And this dude like mows his lawn wearing like a sundress and high heels, and he looks like the red-haired guy from South Park. But you know what? Everyone treats him nice, and they're like, "Hey, babe, can you? It's snowing all of a sudden. I got my peppers outside." But everyone treats him nice and say, "Hey, don't be mean to our local tranny out there." Right. And my sister doesn't know that, like, you know, I kind of know the guy, and like I'm not mean to the guy at all. But like in her mind, she's like, "My brother's out there bashing queers," you know?
Right. Yeah, I wonder. It's, you know, it's so funny about, you said does he literally wear heels, or are you exaggerating?
Yeah, literally pushing the lawnmower.
That's just so funny. It's like, that's just so funny about like trans women, or it's like they're all doing an impression or something, like a real woman. Like if Katie went out and mowed the lawn, you know, like if a girl goes out and mows the lawn, she's probably not going to dress like, obviously not.
Yeah, she'd be wearing sweatpants or jeans.
Yeah, right. She dressed like a
but it's like
dude,
all dolled up in your high heels.
I know. That's just so stupid. That's some of the crazy things about transgender is like, okay, you're a woman, but like, what about when you're not wearing any makeup and you're naked? Like, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, you're not putting, like, there's nothing about you anymore.
Yeah. Do you still feel like you're on day 365 of womanhood?
Yeah, that's like, and then like with transgender lesbians, it's like, okay, when you're having sex, or do you really feel like a woman? Like, really?
See, I get
You know?
confused with that because, like, when you say transgender lesbians, then I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, so is that when like two dudes like pretend they don't have dicks and then they get it on, or like is it one dude? I don't know. Like, or lesbians that are then like Elliot paging it up.
Yeah, right. No, yeah.
It
Ones,
gets-
yeah, right. Ones that say they are, right. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know. Yeah, it's all so weird. And yeah, and I don't know. At least I don't have anybody call me. I don't have anybody who says I'm like hateful and stuff, but
Does your dad ever weigh in on the knowing that he's a bit liberal and stuff? Does he ever weigh in on the tranny thing now that it's being like pushed all day every day?
Like I think I think he and his girlfriend are both like, if like they think it's weird. Yeah, they think the gender stuff is just really
It's weird.
They're like,
they're,
they're super liberal, but they don't think it's weird. They probably just don't realize, because probably the main thing is like MSNBC. Like, I think my dad watches MSNBC basically. So if they don't talk about it, if Rachel Maddow just won't talk about it, she won't say there's she probably won't say there's like a hullabaloo, or she'll frame it in a particular way. So, but yeah, they don't think it's normal. Like they don't think it's normal. No. So like who
Dude, something that occurred to me the other day too, that I wish I would have thought about while I was like talking to my sister, is like, she's always like hated clowns and realized that like, clowns are kind of scary.
Mhm.
And it's pretty much universal. People are like, yeah, they weird me out, and like, how is that ever something for kids? But you're like, so what exactly are drag queens?
Right.
They're like straight up like demon clowns, and it's like, how like how you said chicks are offended. Like, my wife's totally offended by the like 365 days of womanhood, everybody, and it's
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah, but it's super offensive to me too. Like, not that I get offended, but it's like, because the first thing they're doing is turning dudes into fudge packers, and like the other thing is like, I'm tired of being groomed by these, like, what, people will like go, well, maybe we shouldn't have them doing it, at the library for the kids. It's like, how about me, dude? Like, how come I have to just like, be the tolerant one at all times, when it's like, I'm kind of sick of this shit.
Yeah. It's like, you and I probably have different opinions, like, about the different aspects of it, but like, yeah, I don't, it's not, for me, if it has always been a thing that men, pretend to be women and go up on stage and do some kind of performance that's like
Kabuki.
whatever. It's always, and theater used to be, I mean, the roles of women would be played by male actors, back in the day and stuff. So it's kind of like normal, but it's really just the sexualization stuff that's so insane, like,
Yeah.
it's just bizarre. And also, the idea of a drag queen also is not as offensive as Dylan Mulvaney. Like, the thing, like, drag queen has been
an art form.
Well, it's turning into trans, but whereas drag queens in the past were always men, and it's not like you offend them by saying they're men, because everybody knows they're men, right? That was a drag queen. A drag queen is a man who dresses as a woman. We don't call him a woman. We know, everybody knows he's a man. And
they were never something for little kids to play with at the library.
Yeah, right.
It was always like raunchy stuff for pretty, wackadoo out there people. And as long as, if you weren't into it, you just stayed away from it.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That seemed to be cool. But when it's just like, no, fuck that, you're going to deal with us hell or high water. You're like, it's the artificiality of it.
Yeah. I hear
There's
you.
nothing organic about any of this. Like, Dylan Mulvaney is an actor. Like
Yeah.
people are writing these lines for him. Like you don't just show up at the White House and oh my goodness, and now all of a sudden like Nike and Tampax and Bud, like that's actually definitely more offensive that he's doing the Tampax than,
Well, that
than the
I
Bud Light, really.
but yeah, but I thought so too. But actually, they never paid. They did. That's actually like fake news. Actually, they didn't get.
Okay.
He didn't get paid by Tampax. It turns out.
Well, there was another one that did. I thought.
Well, yeah, I have that story. Apparently, Jeffrey Marsh did. That's what I was looking at. I didn't show it, but yeah, I pulled up a thing where people are saying Jeffrey Marsh was sponsored not by Tampax, but by tampon brand, by a tampon brand that's owned by the same parent company, which is Procter Gamble.
How could that be good for sales? That's like $4 billion out of Bud Light, like in a week. You're like, how no woman wants like, because as annoying as chicks can be sometimes, and some of the stuff they do, and it's like they do have to deal with this thing once a month, and then like carrying children. The womanhood actually does have a, I give them credit where credit's due. Like when it comes to actually being like what they're biologically prescribed to be, they have their own journey that, ups and downs and struggles and what have you. And to have some dude show up and it's like, what are you doing? Putting like pads on your taint, bro?
I know.
Like,
well, just to look at it, how do I want just to look at it from the point of view of just from economics, I guess, and thinking that it wasn't a moral choice. These people have followers, and it's just like I know from is like if you run an ad on a video and you get a certain number of views, a certain number of the people who watch the video will buy the product, so that must be, I think that's generally, well, I don't know if that's what they were thinking, but if that's what they were thinking, it's true that if you're an influencer, if you run an ad, a certain number of the people who follow you will buy whatever it is. So that's understandable because they know it's women who are watching these trans guys. Obviously they don't use tampons, but the company thinks, okay, well, it's a influencer marketing. I mean, that's, it's just influencer marketing. But they don't realize now the backlash is coming. But in the meantime, they don't spend that much money on these campaigns. Like, who knows? I have no idea how much Dylan was making for each of the different things, but I'm sure, the brand can get away with spending probably very little and still get customers. They'll still get people buying the product from watching the video. So
like with the Bud Light, like how many people don't know what a Bud Light tastes like, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people that are like, fuck it, that's my beer. Like I don't care if some little queer's on it, I'm gonna drink my beer. I don't, because they're just like the Schlitz people. They have like I have White Claws,
Mm-hmm.
But like who are the people that they actually hope to have like reeled in with this little bit of genius marketing? Like I just can't imagine the like you said, there's enough eyes on it, but like are there chicks that'll start drinking Bud Light? Like maybe I'll pick up some Bud Light. Like I don't know how that, because it is kind of a sinking ship anyway, right? Like no one likes Bud Light.
Yeah, well, that was what I was.
Most of the disgusting beer. It's like the most disgusting of the disgustings.
Yeah. So that's one thing I was thinking about when I saw the advertising executive saying, "Oh, our sales are down, and what do we do?" And
it'll probably just be a tax write-off.
What a tax write-off? What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Like if they lost like $4 billion,
but they didn't.
Maybe that was the intent.
Their stock price is down. That's all. I put in the headline, but their stock price is down a little bit. It's down a little bit so far. Maybe
it's like
a little bit
like
more.
132 to 128 or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It went from 132 to 128, which if the stock price goes back up, then the money was never lost. So you can't really say they lost it. It's like the value of the company is down a little bit so far. So we'll see how it works out. It was down more today, though. So we'll see. Nike, though, is up today. I'm looking at the stock. Nike's not suffering at all, actually. Nike is.
Well, Nike has so many different products. So that's the thing. Like every shoe is its own product. They got socks and gear and this and that. So like it would take a lot to, topple them with that. But it's like Bud Light is just Bud Light.
Well, no, that's not
Right.
true. No, Anheuser-Busch owns it. So, I mean, so it doesn't matter. So the stock that's down is Anheuser-Busch stock, and they own all kinds of beers, just like Nike owns all kinds of products. I mean,
I thought the Bud Light was. I thought it had its own ticker.
no.
It's a
AB.
sub. Okay.
Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, it's just Anheuser-Busch. So same as Budweiser and stuff. So, and they sell a ton of different products, a ton. So, so we'll see what the final effect is. But I'm looking at the Nike stock price, and there's just no effect to that at all. And people were supposedly pissed off about Nike. So it's just, I don't know. We'll see.
And we have like no choice anymore anyway. And like boycotts don't work. Like if boycotts worked, you would not have a Walmart in every town.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know. Right.
It's more of that stuff. Like, don't look for things to be any better. Like, be happy, be grateful that they're as good as they are. And this is the apocalypse. Try to do what you can that's good. Muse on some of this stuff, but like taking it too seriously is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, the music videos and stuff. I was laughing. I was playing. How long?
Oh my god! Yeah.
How long you been tuned in? Did you see the?
Well, yeah, exactly. I showed up late.
Yeah.
But I was scrubbing through because like I was wondering about the Milo and Ollie thing.
Oh, I haven't.
Because people brought it up, and I looked for it, and I couldn't really find the meat and potatoes of it. But then I was like, oh yeah, here's this thing, and because that was hilarious with Elon just totally dunking on the BBC guy.
Yeah.
And then I scrubbed up to that like total. I mean, so cringe, dude. That little video there. He's like, "Fuck Bud Light, yeah." and then when they like show everyone in that video is like obese and out of shape and just like not healthy dudes. And then they switch to the parking lot, and there's a guy and he's got his cigarette in his hand and like. And he's just pouring out his thing, and his buddy to the left of him is missing teeth. And you're like, oh man, you guys are really bad at this whole like clowning on you.
See, I didn't want to make fun of them too bad. You don't want to go there. You're like, okay, guys, come on. Like, yeah, you don't want to go there too much. But yeah,
this is why I hate the left-right thing. Is like I was trying to explain to my sister, I'm like, my side, I hate having to use their terms. I'm using a language that I inherited, but it's like I live in Trumpomania land, right?
Do you? Yeah.
And everyone here is like, oh, support the troops and blue lines, and they literally have a come and take it sticker above a blue line sticker, and you're like, yes, those are the people that will come and take it, you dolts. And these are supposedly like my side, right? And my sister would lump me in the thing, and I'm like, you have no idea. I almost hate them more.
Right, I know. I know. Like that. Yeah, that's where you get in trouble. Like, yeah, like sometimes if I see the people waiting in line for a Trump rally, I'm like, okay, I just think, okay, those are normally the people I would like totally make fun of, but I'm not going to because but it is
like I can't hang out with my people, supposedly. Like I couldn't imagine trying to have we should like legalize all drugs, right?
Right.
With these guys, like I can't go. But normally, again, I've worked at a gun store, and I've. It's like these are like my people, right? Gun people, all right, cool. But like their ideas are so unnuanced.
Yeah.
That it's just like.
Yeah.
It's lonely.
I know. It's tough. It's hard being us. It's hard being us, isn't it, Coco? Like people don't understand.
It is.
Yeah, I was thinking
we're victims, is what it is.
I was thinking of that meme, because I'm making some memes. There's that meme where the one guy's like just sitting and he's like lonely and stuff, and he's sitting in different places and he's like all alone. I was just thinking of that guy sometimes, and I think
the frog with the butterfly.
Yeah, I just think, oh, like people don't understand. People don't understand us, Coco. They never will, but that's okay. Maybe. Do you want me to play the
worst thing you could do is?
Do you want me to play the Ali stuff? Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. It was great chatting with you. Like I said, your shows are on a huge upswing.
Okay,
so
cool.
Keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Bye.
All right. See ya. Looking forward to your donations. Thank you, Top Feed. Okay, I told you guys in the last show, I was like, okay, just follow all the things I say that I'm going to cover. Okay. Ali Groomer. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's one that's short. I'll drop a link to this thing if you guys want to see it. Do your own research. DYOR. Do your own research. How do I invite you to this? There's only 1,100 subscribers on this. China no-fly zone? Okay, hold on. Breaking news? Oh, hold on. Let me do a Steve Lookner. Is there a breaking news Steve Lookner meme? Oh, maybe I just need a clip. I just need a clip I can run. I can reload it into this thing. Since I'm doing shows during the day now. I need a clip of Lookner saying, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. China no-fly zone, apparently, guys. Breaking news. Oh, I kind of have to pee. These shows are so long. What am I doing? Like, what am I even doing it? Why am I doing long shows? I used to do a show. I wanted to be a good short show that everybody could consume and would be short and tight. Spaldo, thanks for the coffees. You're helping out. 3 coffees. Thanks, Baldo. Says any guest who says fudge packer are the best callers. Eon Will does Coco does Coco's trying to be an influencer. Oh man, I can tell you guys some tricks. I can make content for you guys. You guys want me to make content for you? I can just make like yeah, I want to be a writer for somebody or something. And it's like, oh yeah, what's it? I'll just give you guys good content or meme content. Like my meme, trans men don't apologize. I have a meme for that. I don't know if people, do you guys think that's funny? Trans men never apologize. That's what I was going to say. No fly zone, China. You want to see Ali Akbar or no fly zone? Let's see. China, no fly zone. China, no. Oh, sweet. So we're going to war? Oh. Taiwan said it convinced China to rein in no fly zone plan. Oh. There's nothing on Google, so let's search Twitter though. Twitter is faster. Barbie Star says, long form is good for building community, I think. Gives new people a chance to discover you live. Okay. Well, let's see. Thank you for that. I have no idea, like, my strategy. I have no strategy. My strategy is no strategy. I show up at different times. No idea. Somebody else would know. I feel like somebody else would be like, oh, I know what to do with Nathan. China no fly zone. Is it really breaking news or no? China will. Oh yeah, yeah, but that's not. It's not new. It's not new though. Are you saying there's something new? They had been planning a no fly zone. Oh, okay. So no, it's no big deal. Oh, sorry. I take back my breaking news. Okay, I'll show you guys the Ali Akbar. So Nike stock I showed you. Go woke, grow broke, man. I'm telling you, it's mostly not a thing. That's all. It's mostly not a thing. Go woke, grow broke. We'll see what happens with Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch. Okay, here are the Parody Bear. That's good. You stream until you think you made enough money. I know, but what if it? But actually it doesn't work that way because I'm like, oh no, I need to be making per hour. I need to be. So I don't want to just work 10 hours because I'm not, that's crazy. Yeah, I'd rather maximize my time. Here's a story about Ali from the Ali files, which I believe are totally run by Milo Yiannopoulos. Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Oops. Shit.
I then in 2020 decided to become Catholic. And so, showing stuff from 2017 and 2018, acting like the accuser, trying to throw my sexual activity. I lived a sexually liberated.
Okay, hold on. Damn. Oh, you know what? It's just audio. So don't worry about it. The fact that you can't see anything. It's just audio. Let's see. Here's all these different things. Ali opened a secret chat with me on Telegram. He set it to 1 hour self-destruction. Oh, really? You can do that with Telegram? Cool. Self-destruct messages. That's what I need. But then people can still take screenshots right away. But actually, it's good because, like, you guys, you don't want to get into this stuff. Because basically what happens is you tell somebody something, then later they decide they don't like you and they publish it. That's what happens. So if you can delete what you said before they change their mind about you, because they might like you when you tell them the message in the first place. But then later, they might be like, oh, well, actually, now I don't like you, so I'm going to use it again. Everything you said against you. Very dangerous. But Telegram allows you to delete messages, I believe. So that's good. Secret chat with me on Telegram. He said it's 1 hour self-destruction. Ali said that he and Ye are easily tempted, referring to sexual impropriety. Ali also claimed that Ye has used phone conversations with him as an inspiration for song lyrics. I am a lifelong Ye fan. That was when I first realized something about Ali was wrong. Funny, man. Milo's just doing this whole campaign. But honestly, 19 years old, I mean, sure, you can expose him as being a gay guy that, uses questionable tactics to lure in other guys that might be gay. But so far, the only things I've seen, it says 12 to 20, but this guy was 20. This guy, there's a long video talking about how, Ali lied to him about stuff to try to sleep with him and all that crap. But he was of age so far. Everything so far is of age. But then look at this. I mean, see this whole campaign that Milo is involved in? And here's what he's saying. Luke's testimony is closing in on 5,000 views with hundreds of thousands more views across various clips and copies on Twitter. We're compiling data so we can report back on the reach of the Ali files. By the end, we hope millions of Americans will have heard from his victims. I don't even know if they're victims. The guy was 20. He didn't rape him or anything, as far as I can tell. Sounds like he maybe lied to him, but to volunteer, or if you are a licensed therapist who would like to donate clinic hours to underage or traumatized victims of Ali Alexander Akbar's grooming, drop us a line, m@milo.net. So yeah, Milo's also leaking stuff about Nick Fuentes and Laura Loomer, but they're all people. I mean, it's like Ali Akbar. I mean, the guy is like, oh, here's a good one. Ali Alexander tried to recruit me into getting a job for Alex Jones a few years ago when I was graduating from college. Okay, that's once again an adult. He would hit on me subtly through text and eventually asked for a video of me jacking off as collateral for the job. Guy is a complete homo and psycho. Definitely did this with way more people as well. So yeah, I don't understand the appeal and stuff of Ali Akbar. I don't know why he's on Alex Jones and all that stuff. I don't get it. Just don't understand what the appeal is. But Here's more. Here's Alexander Ali Alexander talking about very cute Christian boys working for him. He says about Steven Crowder. Milo is such a. On Wednesday this week, that's today. Well, depending on when this was sent. On Wednesday this week, the Ali files will release testimony and evidence from a 15-year-old boy groomed by Alexander Akbar, who was asked in 2017 for sexually explicit photographs by Akbar and who sent them in 2017. That's a felony and still within the statute of limitations. A copy of the police report, appropriately redacted, will be made available at a later date once permission is granted for its circulation by the victim. The accuser is now 21 and a well-known America First supporter. That sounds interesting. Collateral, great. Blackmail collateral. That's great. That's a great way to join anything, is by giving collateral. That's great. That's what Rainier did with the sexual pyramid scheme with Nexium. So Nick Fuentes is Fed, right? Says Parody Bear. Fed. I don't know if he works. I doubt he works for the Feds, to be honest. I don't think so. I don't think that's revealed by the text and stuff. I think he's got his own thing going on. But I don't know for sure. But some people say that. But I don't know if is he. Maybe. You make money working for the Feds if you have the right position. So I mean, all they do is like they want you to like tell them about people. I think they haven't approached me yet. Oh, that I know of. But I'm not there yet. I'm not crazy enough. But yeah, they just pay you basically to say, oh yeah, go ahead, be crazy, but tell us about people that talk to you. That's what the Feds want. They're like, oh, if somebody contacts you that seems like they're going to get violent, you tell us about them. You keep saying crazy shit. Say Hitler's great. You'll attract the right kind of extremist. And then you just make sure you tell us about those people. That's it. You get paid and stuff. And they leave you alone. That's the deal with the Feds. Who was the guy? There are a few radio guys that were exposed as working for the Feds that said crazy shit like, oh, we should kill judges. And like, who was it? Was it, well, there was Pete Santilli, who people always said was a Fed. And then there was that black guy, I think. I think he's black. And he was definitely a federal informant. Let me look that up. Hal Turner. That's right. Hal Turner. Yeah, he was yeah, here it is, actually, right here in the New York Times. The Gray Lady, the New York Times. Does anybody say that anymore? That's what they used to call the New York Times. The Gray Lady. Here we go. Hal Turner, who spread some fake news I've seen recently. At death threat trial, internet radio host said FBI encouraged rants. So yeah, it's totally possible. Never discount the possibility that if somebody's saying some crazy shit that, or asking you to sign up for something, like give them your information for something. I don't know. Like I get yours. I have all your info. So I can give you guys to the Feds. I don't know. When you buy me a coffee, the Feds see it. They're like, oh no, rank. Nah, so far, I don't think they care about me anymore. They might have used to. All right. Tell you, so long, so much entertainment is crazy. I have to think about what to do. I did get more tips on Rockfin. That's great. Thank you. Thanks to Luth Hap. Appreciate it. Says Sup Nate Hap Rain. How's it, brah? I don't know what that means. That's crazy slang. Rain, how's it, brah? Good, thanks. And I got 99-cent super chat and a few coffees. So thanks for tuning in. I know people are still getting used to the time. This is more than long enough. Yeah. Hopefully it'll keep getting better. But once again, if you support the show, drop a coffee to show that you support the show at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil or buy a t-shirt, Truth Revolution Clothing at truthclothing.io. I'm shipping off a bunch of shirts today. I got backed up. So if you ordered a shirt, there's no way they're going to hear this. But if you're one of the people that ordered a shirt, and it was a little delayed, I'm sorry. My schedule changed and I got screwed up. But there's a bunch of stuff going out today. I have to pack it now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we will see you at the next show. 10:30, maybe. Seemed okay. Maybe 10:30. Look for it. Follow me on Telegram. Follow me on Twitter. Become obsessed with the Lift the Veil show. Make clips. Make TikTok videos. Oh my God. Did you see what Nathan said? Oh my God. That was so funny what Nathan said. Reaction videos. Oh my God. Nathan said that. So funny. Do that. Do that for me. Whatever it takes. Yeah, Elon will. We will improve. I know. That's good. You guys need to do better, okay? Like, I'm doing my best, okay? Here's all like, okay, team. Here's where we're at. The show's good. Feeling good. The content's good. But nobody's tuning in, okay? And it's your fault, okay? So you need to work harder. Share the clips. Make the videos. Make the reaction videos. Work. Thanks, Ian. Well, that's cool. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. I mean, that's plenty of entertainment. Buy shirts, etc., etc. Ian Will's doing a show, and we'll see you at the next one. Okay. For now, that is what it is.